Come on in, hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. We got 30 some people in here, only 13 likes. Man, Kirk, I think we should just call it a night.
You think so, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm supposed to be at a birthday party right now for a buddy. I
Oh
I
man.
still might go, but I might not go. I was using the live stream as a reason to not go, but maybe I should just
Yeah.
go.
Give them
Yeah.
5 minutes,
I
man. We
really
should.
don't want to go, but I mean, I guess the likes is low. Maybe I should just go, man. I got a
Yeah, I
new
gotta.
outfit to put on anyway, so maybe I should just go.
Well,
So
do the road call and see what happened, man.
yeah,
If not,
let
we
me know
just.
when you guys checking in. At least I do the roll call. I don't know if I'm gonna stick around though, but all right, we got
Yeah.
INGS Logistics. Shout out to the we got somebody hit the thumbs down already. We ain't even got started yet. But shout out to you though, man. I hope you having a good night. There go another one. Oh, they in here. They in here. So this is
You
what
know
we
your
gonna do.
top 5 YouTubers be
No,
here,
hold
man.
on,
Why
hold
you
on, hold on,
acting
hold on, hold
surprised?
on. This is what we gonna do though. Hold on, this is what we gonna do. This is what we gonna do. We just hit the linkage. We drop linkage.
You drop the
We just
link.
dropped the linkage.
Got a
Ain't ducking.
problem? Voice your opinion or shut up.
Listen, I don't duck nothing. But that go the link.
I got a
That
bottle
go
of Xanax I'm trying to use.
There go the link. The link. Shout out to INGS Logistics. What up, South Carolina building, Detroit Interstate Screw in the building. Back at it, ATL, Jeremy, I see you. Bunchy, Maryland in the building. We got Dallas in the building. J. Cole.
Hmm.
Corey Jackson is the wall. I see Cleveland in the building. What else? Jacksonville, Florida, New Jersey.
Hmm.
Mark, I just filed for my LLC, checking in from Orlando. Shout out to you. Congratulations on filing. Mark, you asked the haters to be on time. Remember, I sure did. I sure did. It's all good. I love the haters. You need 20% haters. 20%. That's the rule of thumb. You gotta have at least 20% haters. So I appreciate the haters. Yo, Mark, drop the links. What up? What up? What up? This payback. Man, ain't no payback, man. Whoever it was, they switched their vote. So they took them away and hit the thumbs up. Maybe it was by mistake, but right now we at 100% likes. The two dislikes, they
Right.
flipped them. They flipped them. So maybe it was by mistake. New Orleans in the building, Harrisburg, PA, Baltimore, Maryland. Oh, there go one. There go one. There you go. There go one. Shout out to the hater. I knew they was in here lurking somewhere. There we go.
Oh,
There
man.
we go. Appreciate you.
Mm-mm-mm.
Appreciate you. I don't know why people do that. Like it's gonna like take some money out my bank account or out your bank account or like
No, man, it's gonna let us. It's gonna let me take the bottle of Xanax I got over here.
for what?
Just cause
For
they,
what?
I'm just go delete myself. Cause you hit the don't like button.
Kurt, don't say that, man. Please. Even if you
That's what I
joking,
think.
don't say that.
The thing it does anything to
don't
me.
say that. Don't say that, man. We don't need you to delete yourself, man. Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful, man. I don't know why so many people are upset and depressed, but man, let's get into this show. We got 50 people, 51 people in here. We got 30 likes. Hit the like button. Come on in. Hit that like button. Let us know where you're checking in from. All right.
Hmm.
So tonight, what we talking about? We talking about more box truckers quitting every week.
Every week.
Every week we do one show between the next show.
Hmm.
Man, it's just but it's a trend that's going on though. It is a trend that I seen. Not with everybody. Some people just quitting and just I don't know what they doing. But you got some people that's quitting and they are quitting the box truck business and they're going to get their CDL and they're becoming company drivers. So we're
Right.
gonna talk about tonight. We're gonna talk about more box truck drivers quitting and switching over to company CDL drivers. So I guess we can get into that, Kirk. We're gonna
Yeah.
kind of expedite this show.
Somebody asked, how do I keep my employee?
It must be a
You
new
see,
follower. Must be a new subscriber.
I think MDDOT. So,
Is he asking you?
uh,
Is he asking
yeah.
you like literally, or is he asking just for
Well,
his
how do
own.
I keep my employee or just asking how to keep an
Right? Are
employee?
you
Because
asking literally how he keeps his,
mhm.
or you just asking how to keep a person employed working for you? What up, Darren? Shout out to the city.
Cause if
Kirk
it's my
himself.
employee, I pay them well. I used to pay them well, so I pay them well, and most of the guys that I normally get work for me, they're normally um immigrant like myself. I got a lot of immigrant that normally run the truck, so but I
But you
but
don't have.
I pay them well, pay them good.
The reason why I say he must be a new employee because he doesn't know you divested. You a one man army, and you stated why you divested. That's why I was wondering
It
if
says
that
Kirk
person was a new
himself.
person.
Oh, he's asking Kirk
Right. That's what I'm
himself.
saying. Right. That's what I'm saying. He must be new.
Oh, if he oh, how much money I pay myself?
He's Kirk. How do you keep employees, and how many have you lost in the last 3 years? That's what I'm saying. He must be new.
Oh, he must have
I
knew.
don't want to spend too much time on it. That's what I'm saying because I
All
know we
right,
got a
yeah,
feed to show up. He must
he's
be
new.
new. Right.
Yeah, he's
So,
new. You got to catch up.
uh, right.
I'm
Yeah,
rich now. I
right.
don't have no employee.
Kirk don't have no employees. You know, Kirk don't have
I'm
any
like Mark the
employees.
mentor. The only difference
But
with me
but
and Mark, he's richer.
but so Kirk divested during the pandemic, and so did
Oh
I.
man,
You know, we
right.
veterans in the space, and it only took me towards the end of 2020 to realize I'd never operate
Mm-hmm.
again. You know, prior to the way I was able to operate prior to the pandemic. By the end of
Right,
2020, I said, yeah, it's a wrap. So I started to divest. By 2021, the market had shifted. Trucks were going for an egregious amount of money, and that was the
right,
time for people, early adopters, to take the money and run. Kirk
run. Yeah,
divested, sold his trucks, and got a semi. I divested my trucks. I kept two, right, and pretty much retired. I do big jobs here and there. You know, I have celebrity clients that if they call, we may bust them out, or big uh,
mm-hmm.
delivery jobs. But for the most part, I divested as well. So we took the money and
Yeah,
run because we saw what was going to happen. I talked
right,
about it. I know I talked about it a lot last year while I was still divested. When I first started my YouTube channel, I was still out there, and I was talking about it then. We saw what was
mm-hmm.
going to happen, and everything that we saw, and me and him didn't even know each other at the time, but
Right.
our plan was the same.
We just
Everything
make
that
smart
we,
business move at the
right,
time.
right.
We were
So because
strangers making smart business move, Mark.
strangers making smart parallel business moves, because if we look at it now, we would have been up shit's creek. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We wouldn't have had anybody to work because the turnover rate is high. People don't want to work. It's just rough. So we
Right.
made the right move. So
Yeah.
welcome to the channel. I thought Kirk had
Yeah.
a couple employees. Kirk ain't had employees in what, 3 years?
I done with the employee thing a long time ago. I talk about this all the time. We talk about employee. We talk about stories with the drivers. I
Hmm.
go over this all the time. I don't have no. I'm getting. I'm out of here.
Mm. Yeah,
You know.
Kirk is finna retire in another year and a half. I don't know. That maybe that person is new. So
He's new.
anyway, let's talk about box truck guys getting out. Not the ones who are getting out and disappear. Let's talk about the ones that are getting out. We're starting to notice a trend. I first noticed it with Serious Lanes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I seen Serious Lanes do it. I seen recently OTR Rages dropped a video. He did it. We saw
Yeah.
QB do it. We just talking about the content creators. We just talking
Mm-hmm.
about the content creators. There is a plethora of subscribers that we know that you guys may not know, who have reached out to us. You
Got
know, that
Daniel
have,
do it.
you got Daniel and a few others. So there is
Mm-hmm.
people that are exiting the box truck space, and they're just going straight CDL company driver. Why do you think that is, Kirk? You think they just want to
Well,
stay in the space, or what?
well, for the most part, a lot of these guys was missing from when they came in, starting out with the box strip business, because as you can tell, starting with Serious Lane, OTRA, and a few other guys, they started with rental trucks. You get what I'm saying? Now we talk about
Mhm.
this all the time that rental is not gonna be the way to go, but
Mhm.
the rates was high when they were coming in, and still it didn't make any sense. But
Mhm.
overall, people start to realize that you know having a rental truck and starting a business is just not gonna work. You get what I'm saying? It's not a long term um profit margin that you're gonna get off of renting a truck. So I think after people really look into what's really going on, a lot of people just decided to go get their Class A license. Makes more sense. Um, and we talk about this all the time, where company drivers are making more money than OTR drivers that own their trucks. And there's a couple reasons why that take place. Yesterday on the live, I did the whole partial thing, and a lot of people just it's an eye opener. So if they had that method, and keep in mind, Mark, I was doing this way before the pandemic. What I showed yesterday, I've been doing this. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm.
if people are coming out here and not preparing, right,
Mhm.
and a whole bunch of stuff, then when they come out here, they're gonna fail, and they had no choice but to just, you know, go get a better license and go be a company driver. You get what I'm saying? And of
Mhm.
course, a lot of people are doing research. I remember when a couple people reach out to me about the Class A license, because when I said I was gonna get mine, and even when I said I was gonna get mine, people was like, it wasn't a thing because it was the ending of the whole pandemic. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so I think now that stuff start to really show up in people's life, that you're really gonna have to step your game up.
Mm.
Yeah. One other thing I want to say to you though, one other thing I noticed with everybody that's doing it, it's kind of like, if you look at everybody, it's kind of like, it's like depressing, but then it's like a relief at the same time.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Uh,
So I don't know.
you said to the
It's
people who are getting out. I think a lot of the people that got in that switched that stand in logistics, right? They giving up their box truck and they're going to uh, CDL as an owner operator. I think you're right. I think it is a burden because when I was watching OTR Ray's video yesterday, you could
mm-hmm,
tell he just had like the video, you could just tell he had like a weight lifted off of his
mm-hmm,
shoulders. Like
mm-hmm.
when he talked about how he just felt like he was running, 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 and every week or whatever, every month when he just
Right,
looked at his gross and the money that was coming in and the money that was going out, it's just like he said he was recycling money. He wasn't really seeing any money. You know what I'm saying? And the way he talked about going and getting the CDL and just working a job, you could tell like he was just like, good riddance. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna run up a
right,
bag and I'm not done
exactly.
with it, but maybe I'll re-enter, you know, better, meaning he'll probably re-enter into the space more
Yeah.
educated. He'll probably enter with a
Mm-hmm,
lower cost. He probably won't enter with a rental. That was another thing that he was talking about. He was in a rental and
mm-hmm.
I think that rental was kicking him in the butt, and I think it probably ultimately kicked a lot of people in the butt, and but
Yeah.
we've had some people that have switched that actually own their truck and they bought their truck the wrong way. We seen people with that
Mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm.
took out payday loans on their personal vehicle and another loan, high interest rate loan on the truck. And I think all that, just goes back to that time period during the pandemic where it was just that whole craze that influencers was pushing for
Mm-hmm.
people to get into the box truck business, and nobody did their due diligence. And you know what the crazy thing is? The people that probably did do due diligence, or other people who probably, if they would know now, if they
Mm-hmm.
would have known then what they know now, even if they would have did their due diligence, they probably would have had similar results because as I think people that are still watching content creators that have experience, what people know now is this industry, as far as this box truck thing, is not as easy as a lot of influencers made it out to be. And I think that's ultimately where a lot of people just fell by the wayside.
Yeah, and another thing is we talk about this all the time. The expense behind running a business, like trucking, is very expensive. You know what I mean? And it's
Hmm.
not cheap. It's really a cost. It's a high overhead cost. I think a lot of people are not prepared for that. You know, uh Thursday I got a breakdown. I told you that, right?
Hmm.
In Kentucky, it was my it's a valve my ear, my purge valve, right?
Yeah.
Went to buy some gas and truck just lose the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's one of these guys where you call on the roadside. That's the first time I ever called somebody. Actually, a love truck stop was there, but they couldn't see me until the next morning.
That was
But
Thursday night,
anyway,
right? Thursday night when
Thursday
you was in
night,
the live
yeah,
chat, right?
when I
Yeah.
was in the live talking to y'all and messing around with a lot of people, I
Hmm.
was getting the truck repaired.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I was calling, just messing around with people, but it cost
Hmm.
me $588. You get what I'm saying? Now this is a $70 parts. It's $70 for the parts. You see what I'm saying? So,
Five
but the
hundred dollars
point
for the
where I'm
labor.
five on because
Five or
the
some
guy got to
change.
drive. The guy got to drive to the dealers. Got to, you get what I'm saying? They charge for. He
And they
charged me
keep
for
you on the
each
clock for that.
way.
They keep
There
you on
you
the
go.
clock.
But
Yep.
and listen to this. And listen to this. When I finish, he didn't remember. I told you the payment method was not with credit card. He
Hmm.
said you either pay me Zelle, Cash App, or Venmo. You see what I'm saying? Because you get burned by truckers that paid credit card and then file a claim.
Mm.
You understand? So, but what I'm saying is that it's very expensive. It's very expensive, Mark. And if you don't have that kind of money put aside, this is why we talk about having a whole bunch of stuff in place.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? Now, if I'm caught, if it costs me 588, right?
Hmm.
Let's just say I'm not. Let's say like OTRA was saying he has a profit of $1,600. He's in a rental truck, right?
Hmm.
But let's take him out of that rental and put him in his truck, and he got, let's say he got $2,000 in profit. Now he's gonna have to dig into that. This is why, I talk about a incident one time when I was breakdown, and I mentioned it and this live that we're doing, the wise man, and somebody
Hmm.
said to me that, oh, so that money you spent yesterday, now you got to get back on the road and work it back to put it back. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Hmm.
Maintenance money for my truck is put aside. I don't
Right.
have to take it out and then go and work it back. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's already there. How many times I call you and tell you about breakdowns? That cost me.
At least once a month.
You see what I'm saying? So, and but what I'm saying is that if you're coming in this business, you don't have the capital, you're not prepared mentally for some of the issue that you're going to come into, it can put a toll on you. And you're going to start reconsider if you really want to stay in this business, or man, I might just call it a day, man. I'm going to get a CDL. I see everybody talking about CDL driver making $14, 18, $25 an hour. Man, they home every night. It can get to you, Mark.
Mm.
So I think a lot of these guys are coming to the same conclusion where it's better to just go get a CDL license, be a company driver. Maybe they'll be a driver for a year and a half, 2 years, and then save up some money. And if they want to come back in the space, they can come back. But for now, a lot of people is it's just not working.
That's crazy, man. Because I was thinking about this earlier today. Like I was actually after. It was yesterday.
Mhm.
Actually, I was thinking about this after watching his video. Because remember, we were wondering where he was at. He used to be
Right.
in
I
both of our
asked about him.
lives. Yeah, so
Right.
I had jumped into his comments maybe like a month ago just to kind of check on him. And he responded and said he was taking care of some. He gave me the same response QB gave me when I checked on him when he disappeared.
Yeah.
Just got a lot going on type of response, got a lot going on. And the whole
Mhm.
time he was in school, he had got out of his truck. And I guess the
Mhm.
video he dropped is kind of behind because he said that video was from September in the video. It's damn near November. So I was thinking after watching that video, it's crazy how like just a year and a half ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago, the
Mm-hmm.
sentiment was totally different. It was 360 degrees different. And I remember coming on YouTube right in the midst of things starting to turn, but you still had people that were on their high horse. And I
Mm-hmm.
was preaching this, and I just remember the backlash. Man, I used to take a beating. I used to take a
Right.
beating just telling people like, "Yo, you want to do this, you want to do that. The market going to do this. It's going to do that. Nah, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that." And then
Mm-hmm.
here we are. It's just a total 360 degree. Like everybody is somber and down and point fingers and sad and calling it trash and just it's just it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man, because everybody was so gung ho, and it's just like one by one, the industry is just knocking them off, just
Mm-hmm.
knocking them off one by one. So, man, I don't know, man. I don't know, and it's just not
Yeah.
box truckers; it's truckers too. People that came in the trucking space too. Same thing, same
Yeah,
thing.
and you gotta look at it from a different point also, Mark. You gotta think
Hmm.
about some of these guys who got kids, they got rent, they got bills, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
if you're running in a cycle where you're not making ends meet, right? And you
Hmm.
just basically running the truck just to make the company, because he breaks it down again like we talk about all the time. $550 for a rental a week plus 19 cents a mile. So he was paying almost $1,000 a week.
Hmm.
So let's give him 1,000 a week times four. You
Hmm.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if
Plus
you're doing
19
a
cent a
thousand,
mile.
huh?
He said he was
19
paying a
cents.
thousand including the miles, or is that was his
No,
average
included the
including the miles?
miles. Included the
Mm-hmm.
miles. Now keep in mind, Mark, that's just the truck payment.
Mm.
That's not included the
The
insurance.
fuel, right?
No, we're talking about the fixed rate. We're talking
Oh,
about the rate that,
well, yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
insurance,
So
right?
you're talking
So
about insurance, you're talking about that he's got an ELD, you got all of
ELD,
that
right?
stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? So when you look at it mathematically, it doesn't make no sense because he's paying more money in that rent a box truck. Pretty much are paying what I'm paying for payment for my semi and rental and insurance is what he's paying for a rental truck.
Yeah,
It's hard, man.
once upon a time, that same rental would give you about 1,500 free miles a week and about
Right.
500 a week. Once upon a
Hmm.
time. So, I see people pushing rentals still to this day, and they say that there's good rates out there, and there may be good rates, but I know one thing definitely has changed from our heyday is the stipulations that they put on these rental trucks. They've put serious stipulations on these rental trucks that did not exist back in those golden days. And I'm not speaking of golden days like as far as like prior to deregulation. I'm talking about like our golden days, like me and Kirk's
Yeah.
golden days, the early 2010s. Like you can go rent a truck, right? And there
Hmm.
was no stipulation. You run that truck into the ground, and if something went wrong with the truck, they'll come swap you out. They would bring you a truck.
They'll bring you a
They
truck.
would
Yeah.
bring you a truck and swap it out.
Hmm.
They would bring you a truck.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing people now saying, "Man, we got to bring the truck back because we had too many breakdowns and this, that, and the third." And the pandemic just really made it hard on new entrants coming into the space. And with the whole supply chain, manufacturing, the semiconductors, it's just a lot of variables that have gone into place that even if you were to go out and find somewhere that would give you a 500 or a $600 a week truck, there's still other variables that are put in place that are going to limit you from ultimately running the way you would need to run to make money. They're capping the miles. Unlimited ain't unlimited. It's just like your cell
Yeah.
phone.
You
If
got
you if
right.
you spend so much money on your media package, even though they say it's unlimited data, man, let you go over like 25 or 30 or whatever it is gigabytes. You're gonna get a text message. And you're gonna be like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, hold on. I thought I had unlimited. Yeah, well, it
Mhm.
is unlimited. We're just gonna slow the speed down once you hit 30 gigabytes of data.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
that's not unlimited. You slowing the speed? Well, it is unlimited. We're just gonna slow the speed down. So it's the same thing with like these trucks. They have to cap them now, right? They gotta cap them because they just don't have an overflow of new trucks coming in every year, and people aren't buying the old trucks like that no more. You go on Penske.com now versus a year or two ago, the website was scarce. Now you got pages and pages and pages and pages and
Mhm.
pages of trucks.
Well, let's
So,
even talk about those guys that are buying those truck that bought those truck in the pandemic. Who, I mentioned this last week about buying a truck over $100,000, $80,000. Now the truck worth $35,000.
mhm,
I mean, 35,000 for a truck that you spend 70, 80,000 on. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
So now you have that payment because the fixed
Mhm,
rate is a fixed rate, right,
mhm,
Mark? You bought it
yeah.
at 80 with a 24% interest rate. Your payment is still $2,800.
Man.
You see what I'm saying? So regardless of what, the payment is a payment. So now you have people like that that's dealing with the after effect of the pandemic. So those people are getting out of those truck and then going to get a semi, get their license and go back and get a semi.
Yeah, I
You see
see
what I'm
Serious
saying?
Lanes. I see Serious Lanes dropped a video like an hour or so ago talking about shopping for a semi. I'm curious to know if he sold his 26 because that 26 footer he was in a he had
Uh-huh.
like two notes on that thing because he got a loan
Right,
on
but
his pickup truck
eventually,
and
eventually it's gonna wear you out. Eventually, it's gonna wear you out.
but even in his situation, if he ain't, I guess we can because he's a content creator. So I'm
It's
try
gonna wear
I
Mark. It's gonna
but see
wear
what I'm
you
saying.
out.
I hear it, but like speaking of his situation,
Mhm.
if you there's more opportunity in the semi truck side. But if you
Mhm.
can't master the box truck, you're gonna take on more responsibility, more cost, and you haven't figured out the other side. I just don't know,
Well,
man.
there's this thing where people believe that the bigger, if you get bigger, is better. Because again, the buying space is what quote unquote sell, but
Right.
in business, it's not really true.
They
You get
saying
what
he
I'm
still
saying?
got it in the chat. They saying he still got it. I didn't watch the video yet because I was preparing for this, but they say he still
But
got it.
what I'm saying is, Mark, if
Mhm.
so I've done what I've done. I've done the research, I've done the work, I'm out here. You get what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's easy for me to transition over to a semi and still act as if I'm in a box truck, right? If you
Right.
see, I put that out. People who watch the content see I put that out on a daily base when I first get my semi. You
Right.
understand?
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. How you gonna run a semi if you can't master a box truck? You see what I'm saying? Because I was having problem with my box truck, but just the timing of me getting my class A license, you get what I'm saying? I just decided, all right, man, I'm gonna just change the game. I saw what the market was doing, sell all
Mhm.
them box trucks, right? Get rid of all
Mhm.
those drivers, right?
Yeah.
My
Mhm.
last driver, Jose, contract was out, so I get rid of Jose. Then we decided, me and Kenisha decided we're gonna sell all the trucks, just like we talk about divested.
Mhm.
The last truck that I bought was a 2022 box truck, and I sell it back and I think I make crazy amount of money on top of it. So I get rid of the box trucks, right? But when I came in the semi, I was even doing the same thing that I was doing in the semi that I was doing in the box truck.
Mhm.
The only good thing that worked with a semi that I would highly that would be perfect for partial, and this is why I'm so successful with doing partial. You
Mhm.
have the weight and the space. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is the beauty about doing the whole box truck and moving on to the semi. But in his case, I think that if he does go in a semi, I think he should probably just go as a company driver. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. A semi expense is not the same as a box truck expense. You see what I'm saying? It's two different expense. And I'm telling you, if you're in a box truck and you're thinking about getting a semi, you gotta learn to drive that thing. You gotta learn to back it up. If you hit somebody car, if you hit somebody building, if you hit that, those insurance claim can rack up real fast. I mean, you feature a guy, I think was last week we feature a guy
Mm-hmm.
had an insurance payment of $5,000,
You had one that had 5,000, then the Jamaican
and then the
guy had
Jamaican
insurance
guy
paid
got
at
eight
8,000.
thousand dollars.
Yep.
So you hit something, just that one hit can put you out of business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you got to be able to. How many people can hit a truck but still stay in the truck even if the insurance company go up $2,000-3,000? Most people can't, and this is why I keep stressing to you it's expensive. So Mark, if you're leaving the box truck, whether you're renting
Mm-hmm.
or I spoke to a couple people
Mm-hmm.
who returned their truck.
Mm-hmm.
Dude called me and said, "Man, I returned this truck." I said, "You know what I mean?" "No, man, I returned the truck." "What are you doing now?" "Man, I'm just a driver now. I'm just working for a company. I'm gonna get back in the game." So people are getting repossession, voluntary repossession on their business credit, and they're
Mm-hmm.
you the guarantee, so it's going to show up on your credit.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And then hopefully
Yep.
2 years later it will die down so they can come back and hopefully they'll save up a little money. That's because content creator tell them that
Hey
you're
man,
gonna be a millionaire, and it's
I
crazy.
I know the reason why so many people fail, and I say it all the time, but it goes over people's heads.
Right.
I know the reason. You got a lot of people that were never business owners before coming to a business, and they come in up here.
Mm-hmm.
I think the key
Right.
to my success throughout the years is I started humbly, and I was forced to start humbly because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have anything. I didn't have any money. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So,
explain humbly. Explain humbly. You say you start humbly.
humbly,
Explain. Go.
I started with what I had. I didn't
Right.
even know that I would be sitting where I'm at right now when I got started. I was just needed to do something because I didn't have no money.
Mm-hmm.
And I just happened to be online and saw someone put an ad up that said they had a pickup truck would do small jobs. I had a pickup truck. I duplicated that ad and the phone rang and it never stopped ringing. I turned that into a successful business. And but I started humbly, and
Mm-hmm.
because I started on such a small scale, as my level of education in the business grew, as my money grew, I grew the business. I just didn't jump in the business or willy nilly, right? With no
Mm-hmm.
knowledge of the business, with a 26-foot box truck, with the operation cost of a 20-foot, 6-foot box truck, with the competition, in the industry and everything around it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if I would have jumped in even back then in 2010, right, with a 26-foot box truck, I probably would have failed. I probably would have failed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I probably 95% would have failed, right? Because I just didn't know the business. It's just like any other business. You get in, you have to learn the business. It's best to start small and work your
Mm-hmm.
way up. A lot of people want to start at the top, and that's ultimately why they fail. People
Mm-hmm.
don't want to start at the bottom because they don't want to go through the agony and the years of building the business. They want to start at the top and get straight to the money, but you're going to start at the top and you're going to be in competition with a bunch of people that's been doing the business for 10 or 20 years. And this is going to be your
Mm-hmm.
competition. These people are more knowledgeable than you, especially in this business. It's competitive, especially people who want to run the spot market. Like, that's why I always, it grinds my gears when I hear people saying, stop taking cheap freight.
Mm-hmm.
What's cheap to you may not be cheap to the next person.
Right. Right.
It may not be cheap to the next person because they've been
Yeah.
doing this
Someone
for a
said
while.
that I'm the one that make freight cheap.
And you should say, you know what? I am. It's not my fault that you went out and you got this truck and you spent 3 times the amount of what the truck is cost because you bought in the height of inflation during the pandemic because you're not
Right.
educated on supply and demand and inflation and a pandemic and the causes of it and what's going to
But
come
I, but
behind it
Mark,
and so on.
but
So,
Mark,
so
I bought
but
a
that
high paying truck. You know what I mean?
but here's the thing. That's just like me going out and buying a piece of property right now. I know the
Right.
market is 8%, but if I go out and buy a property right now, I know that if I buy this property at 8%, I'm going to
Mhm.
make sure I buy a property that I have enough cash that in at least 5 to 6 years, whatever the balance is, if the interest rates don't drop and I can't refinance, I got enough money to just cash it out and be done with it.
Right.
See, this is how I think, but I'm educated and smart enough to know how to handle and go about business. So if I take a if I go into something that I know is a higher risk, I already have a plan in
Mhm.
place to get out of it before I get caught left holding the bag. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? When I first started in business, I wasn't thinking like that. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? I wasn't thinking like that. So I think a lot of people that are new to business that never ran a business before, doesn't even have to
Mhm.
be a trucking business. They don't understand the importance of starting from humble beginnings, starting at the bottom and working their way up. The people that have started at the bottom, the people that have listened to me, uh, that were thinking about getting a 26-foot box truck, and when they started listening to me talk,
Mhm.
things started to connect with them, right? Because I'm
Right.
speaking different from a lot of the other content creators.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I talk about, yo, what's your living expenses looking like? Ain't nobody never did content like that. How much do it cost you to live? People don't think about that. All right,
Right.
so you sitting up here trying to do your cost per mile, but how much does it cost you to live? So how much you think you're gonna make in your box truck? All right, well, how much do it cost you to live? You can look at your last 3 months bank statements and see how much money you spending. So if
Mhm.
it's costing you $4,000 a month to live, and you just did all your calculations for your box truck, you upside down.
Right.
This is why you robbing from the sustainability of your business, because you're not making enough to pay yourself to take care of your lifestyle, the current
Mhm.
lifestyle that you had when you got into this space.
Mhm.
This is what I get people to thinking about. I get people to think about the whole aspect of business.
Right.
I tell people, listen, you have to make sacrifices. You got to live. You want to build this business, you want this business to be successful, you have to decrease your living.
Right.
People don't want to do that. See, people don't want to decrease their living.
Right.
That's another issue. This is why people failing. They don't want to decrease their living. As soon as they make a little money, they think they made it. No, you ain't made it. You ain't made it.
Yeah, that
Mm-mm.
the the
You,
the
you, you,
the
ain't,
the
you, ain't, you
the
ain't
new
made
way
it.
of doing business is doing it backwards. That's how they think they're gonna be successful.
And that's why they failing. And that's why they
Yeah.
failing. And that's ultimately why people fail. And I tell people this all the time, but you have some people that listen and you have some people that don't. And when I first started doing YouTube, I used to get upset because I'm like, man, I'm giving you the blueprint. Why don't you just listen? And then I think
Yeah.
you told me, I seen Axel told me earlier. Well, he told me last year, but he just mentioned it in the chat, that, some people just ain't gonna listen. They destined to fail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The smart people, they're gonna take the information that you're giving them, they're gonna take the information that they're getting from elsewhere, and they're gonna sit down and go put everything together and formulate their own opinion, right? And if
Mhm.
they do consume content from someone, the smart people are gonna consume it from what makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Some people just consume content and and go with what sounds good,
What sounds good, right?
right?
Exactly.
And what sounds good 9.5 times, no, I'm gonna say 9.9 times out of 10 is not always the best for you. Most of the times it's not the best for you. You see
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Because if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is.
Right.
It probably is, So that's ultimately why people are failing. And more people are going to continue to fail because they want to start up here. They want to start way up here in a 26-foot box truck that's very advanced, that's very costly. You don't have the capital, you don't have the working capital to be able to sustain a business like that through economic downturns, right? One, through unforeseen incidences, two,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And whatever else that comes along with this space. Like I got some horror stories. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I got some horror stories that can happen to you. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people they have just enough, and it's just like what I said. If you got just enough to get into this space, then you ain't got enough. Just enough ain't enough
Yeah, some people is an
because
engine or a transmission away from shutting down. I saw a
man, forget
YouTuber
it. Forget an engine, a brake job away.
right, yeah. I saw a YouTuber, I saw a girl, a woman talk about that, and she was actually crying. Um, she her motor blow.
Mm,
You get what I'm saying? Put her out of business.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And this is what we're talking about. Like it's not cheap, man, and it's just not a business that is gonna you can't just jump in it and then just think that, you're gonna be making that kind of money. It's just not there.
Mm,
You know, my friend that brought me that lead me to trucking, he had a 26-foot box truck,
mm,
right? I actually the first truck I ever worked in New York City, because I think I told you
mm,
this before, when I was doing I was breaking down furnitures and putting in the house in New York.
mm,
Um, it was a retired police officer. I forgot his name, but this was years ago. Retired police officers, he used to do home delivery with the furniture. I used to go with him some Saturday, and then I would go with my Jamaican buddy some Saturday, right?
mm,
Now, the police officer, he had a 26-foot box truck. I used to run with him, and then, all the guys that worked there, that they introduced me to. But 16-footer box truck, between 16-footer and 26-footer, I used to run with those guys, right?
mm, mm,
But my buddy that lead me to trucking,
mm,
he told me to buy a cargo van. You get what I'm saying? He said buy a cargo
mm,
van and go do some courier work.
mm. He told
You
you right,
understand?
Kirk.
So
He
I
told
was
you
doing the
right.
courier work. I was getting $80 from Pennsylvania, from New Jersey to Pennsylvania. I used to go to
Mm,
Manhattan, 35
mm,
here. I would go in with 4 or 5 delivery. You know what I mean?
right.
20, I forgot what year cargo van when I started, but you get what I'm saying, Mark?
Mm,
And then I would go deliver at places, and then I'll see routes, way before you got Amazon and laser ship and all of that stuff. I would see
mm,
places have routes and medical, and I would ask, and then that's how I end up getting a medical route. You get what I'm saying? And then that same company, I started to deliver, and then I start meeting different companies. You get what I'm saying? And people
mm,
start to so your connection grow, people start to put you in different connection, and then that's how I end up going to make a delivery at the next facility, which ultimately grow the business from one cargo van into 3 cargo van. Then I end
mm.
up from 3 cargo van to 3 box truck. You get what I'm saying?
Are you glad you started from more humble beginnings than just
Oh
jumping
yeah,
straight
I
in
would.
with the box
Yeah.
truck?
Oh yeah. I'm happy the way I started.
Do
I
you
would
think
never.
that do you think that led to your success because you started with something small and you were able to learn the business from something small, right? That was less
Mhm.
costly uh, to operate, and you were able to scale that business as you know your knowledge of the business grew, as
Yeah,
well as your earning the
yeah,
money that was
yeah.
coming in.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna tell you another thing too that I appreciate is all of this building business. My wife was there with me.
Mm,
We had no kids.
mhm.
You understand what I'm saying?
W- Well, well, here's the
Sh-
thing, because you talk a lot about, not to cut you off, because we was actually having this conversation
Mhm.
earlier, me and you, and your situation is a little bit different because your wife, you were dating, what year did you get married?
When we got married in 2013.
All right, so your wife was
When
with you
when
pretty
when
much throughout your
when
journey.
we started the business, yes, we weren't married, right?
Mhm.
Um, and no kids.
Right,
You get what I'm saying?
but
She
here's the
when
go ahead,
Yeah, go
go ahead.
ahead.
The question I was going to ask you, because earlier we was talking about how a lot of people we've seen that have spoken, that have come forward and talked that their business demise, there was one common uh variable, right,
Mhm.
that was in place, and all these people would adamantly mention, well, my girl take care of this, or my girl take care of that, or my wife take
Right.
care of this, or my wife, and you make fun of these people. So, and you say
I
you
wouldn't say
say a lot of the
no.
reasons they failed is because of they significant other, but you had a significant other throughout, the beginnings of your
Okay,
business,
so
but you made it.
I
So
wouldn't say
what's
I
the
wouldn't say
difference?
make fun of them.
There you
I
do,
think
Kirk.
that
You make fun of
no, okay. So I think okay, when me and my wife started, when we started, she was not my wife, right? We were in, she was we were going to get married, but I met my wife doing trucking work, right? And I
them.
think after what she see me doing, you understand, and cuz
Hmm.
we started to do the books from early on. This is what she liked. She loved that, she's a woman. She loved that computer, that book. You know,
Hmm.
all I did, but Mark, my first computer I bought, I gave it to her. I swear to God, I never. If you ask Kanisha, I've never been on that computer. Never Google search, nothing at all. The
You just
first
you
business
just you just
computer we
gave it
bought,
to her. You just
I
gave it to
gave
her.
it to her and tell her, look, every single thing we do in this business, you gotta document it.
Mm.
You understand? I've never Google search on that computer. I've never do anything at all with that computer. And every week, Mark, the same way you have it, when
Mm-hmm.
Select Express would give me a route, she would go in with a spreadsheet. This. When we miss money, when we have to submit an invoice, when all the paycheck come in, she could tell. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
From the day one, that's how we've been doing everything. You get what I'm saying? Now, when she become my wife, and this gonna lead to what you just said. When she become my wife, not only that we were Emmanuel before we get married, we were running together. We go to Patterson, you could name it. We go to the worst part of Patterson. We go to the worst part of Philly. She was there next to me.
Your
The
wife met
problem
Mike
I'm
before?
having.
Did your wife ever meet Mike at Select?
Oh yeah, she know Mike. She know Mike Eaton. She know Charles. I don't know if you know Charles.
Betty? What
She
about
know
Betty?
Betty. She know Betty. When she get pregnant, Betty was the one that put her in game about her
What Betty
daughter.
look like? What Betty look like? Because we would talk to her every day on the phone when she would send us
Betty
the
is
orders.
she's
She got a
fine.
nice voice. I know she's Spanish, but she sounded like
Yeah, I know Betty
sexy.
and her husband. I know where Betty live.
Oh, Betty was married?
Man,
I didn't know.
Betty and Mary, the two Mary, they were married
Uh,
too. But
Mary was married too?
Yeah, Betty and Mary was the first. They're the one that put my wife on game when she get pregnant. They told her all the clinics to go, what to do, all of that
Man,
stuff.
that's crazy how the world worked. Two guys that was working for the same, running
Same
loads for the same
company.
company on
Yeah.
different sides of the country. Here we are 11, 12 years later hosting a podcast
Yep.
together. We didn't even know each other back
We
then.
didn't even know each other. Work for the same
Man,
company.
that's
Yep.
crazy, man.
And then when I first started to work with Select Express doing the container store, every
Mm-hmm.
time we would go to a container store delivery, if somebody asks us to put in the shelf or put in their closet,
Mm-hmm.
we would do a reschedule and come back. Like anything at all that has to do with the business back then with my wife, she would be
Mm-hmm.
there. The problem I'm having with these guys, and this is another thing that we never do. I never look at my wife as a business partner.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? I always look at my wife as my wife. You get what I'm saying? The
Right.
problem that what I was trying to explain to what you're talking about is there's this trend that goes on where people say, I need a partner. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that partner conversation move over to business partner. You get what I'm saying? And so when you
Mm-hmm.
look at the guys who come on your live, they tell you they got a business partner, but their wife never been in a truck with them. Their wife don't do
Hey,
the books.
hey, man, they
No,
say,
I'm
man, they wife
serious.
do the books, but they wife ain't never took an
Mark,
accounting class.
man, if I call
That's
Kenisha, I can call, listen, I can text her and let her bring the old, you know what we bought the first time? Let me tell you the computer we bought. We bought what's that? The note. What
was it a
what's that?
Microsoft
The
note or
Google.
Google note?
No, the little
Google.
Google notebook.
Okay.
The little would spend like $300 and something for it.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? A little computer, it's very
Mm-hmm.
small, and she would have it. She loved carrying it around. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that they're not documented anything at all. I remember when we was working out of Cranberry, New Jersey. We used to have our cargo van. Me and my wife have to go down there by 6:30. We used to load up from 6:30 till about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, because we have to be in Patterson, New Jersey by 8 o'clock to start our
Mm-hmm.
route. And my wife would have to write back then we didn't have no scanner. You
Right.
know, back then
Back
was
then,
horrible.
right, they would send us the. Well, see, you were over there, so you would just go to select. With us, they
Oh
would
man, it was
email
bad
us
back
the stuff. We had to print it. I'm gonna see if I can get some old select BOLs, and we had to print those orders every day. Yeah, it wasn't no scanners, right? Yeah.
right. And my wife would have to take. We would have these bills.
Mm-hmm.
It would have the would have my wife would have to look at the numbers because there's
Mm-hmm.
these order numbers. You know what I mean? Order numbers, how many pieces, all of that stuff. It was different back then.
It was different,
So
man.
the point that I'm trying to drive home is guys are coming out here saying their wife or their business partner. It's cool. It's a nice terminology that people like to use. I'm not against you calling your wife whatever. You get what I'm saying? But just you look away when you come on testimony and you be like, well, my wife is the one that keep the books. And then you're like, well, how much you spend last year week in gas? Well, I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Well, they said we man, I got to take care of home. I got to take
All
care
right,
of home.
right. You know what I mean? And
Business don't
so
take care of home. Business
uh,
take care of business. The business
business
pays
take care of
you. You take care of home. You take care of
even
home.
to my paycheck, I was getting $760 running a box truck. I did not
Mm-hmm.
my first Mark, our first year, I did not get
Mm-hmm.
no money. I swear to God, all these things that I'm doing now, shopping and traveling all over the place and taking the kids out, none of that stuff, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we first started the business, me and our dude, nothing at
Y'all were
all.
making money. Y'all were making money,
Oh,
but
we
you were
were
just
making
grinding.
money, but
You
we were
just didn't
just
have
grinding.
time. Right. Right. And see,
And
that's the
one of the
thing.
things that we were focused on is when we had a kid, we did not want to be in a rental property.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time our daughter come, when Kylie born, we
Don't get
were
too
in
much
a
in it, cause man, you giving your
oh
testimonial.
man. But
Chill out. Chill
I'm just
out.
saying, like
Chill.
it's
Chill.
these are the
Chill.
things that lead us to where we are. And that's why sometimes when people hear me say something, they think I'm bashing them. But if your girl ain't with you and riding and doing the things that your your quote unquote business
I
partner should be doing, you can't really say you got a business partner. That's
I
just
think
fact.
I think the smoke has settled. The dust has settled now as far as this whole box trucking space. So I think now I'm starting to see the sentiment change with
Hmm.
people when you hold them accountable. I think they now know it is coming from a place of love. You know what I'm saying? Now that the dust has settled, the smoke is clear. You
Hold on a
don't mean
minute.
no
Hold on a
you
minute.
don't mean no
Hold
harm.
on. Hold on a minute. Check this
What
out.
happened?
This is the computer that we use.
That was the
This the
first one.
third. No, this the third one we bought
Mm-hmm.
for the business. This the third one. This is only strictly everything in this right here is for the
Mm-hmm.
business.
Y'all started better than me. I started with composition notebooks. I showed y'all a stack of composition notebooks. I'm using a ruler, drawing lines,
Yeah,
and making my
I
own
got
spreadsheet every
papers.
night.
Man, I could go in my garage and my show you papers that we still have of paperwork
Mhm.
that we still got.
Yes.
So, but what I'm saying is that some of these things are why people not making in any headway. And we're talking about people that own truck now. We're not talking about them renter guys. What do I always say on my channel and your channel? History is best qualified when it's documented.
Mhm.
That's a part of your business. You got to get into that habit of documented stuff.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? You gotta be so if you have your wife, you gotta let your wife and you work together and sit down at least once a month, once a year. You get what I'm saying? Going over your paperwork. And so ultimately you find guys who are returning trucks. You got guys who are going out of business and turning in trucks and going into semi trucks to go drive for companies, going into other people's box truck. You got
Yeah,
people who
that
are losing their box truck and become somebody as box truck drivers.
hmm.
You see what I'm saying, Mark? So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but shout out to those creators that we've seen that have ultimately transitioned out of box truck, and when it got CDLs and became company drivers. But and this ain't a shot to them. This ain't a shot to them because a lot of the ones that did that, they were novice and they were just journey based channels. They weren't educating nothing. Like, and even the OTR Ray, he made that very clear. Like, he wasn't educating nothing. He was just showing his journey. And all those
Right.
guys were journey based. But this should be a lesson to people that are coming into the space. You know, when you're consuming content,
Mm-hmm.
you need to be very mindful of where you consume it from and what you take in. Experience is always going to be your best teacher. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I think people have learned a valuable lesson that, if you're going to and it just, none of these people have lied about they journey. Some of them might not know what they talking about, but they ain't lied about their journey. They ain't said, listen, I've been doing this, I've been doing it. You can go look at people's content and it'll show when they started. 2021, 2020, whatever.
Mhm.
Just bought my first box truck. From
Right.
there is when they started their journey. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to be mindful. They're still learning the business as well. So, and I think a lot of those guys fell victim to just consuming information, right? From people that
Mm-hmm.
was in a similar boat like them. Like, you consuming information from people that just started 3 weeks before you.
Right.
And ultimately people, started it's like
I know people that came and then I don't want to use the word curse, but disagree with me when I tell them. um I remember a couple guys come to me and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy a box truck and I'm gonna run it for 3 months and I'm gonna throw a guy in the truck and then I'm gonna buy two more trucks." And I'm like, "That's not gonna happen."
sounds good, right?
And they're like, "You don't know what you're talking about. It's going to happen. My vision," and I'm telling them it's not gonna happen. And they
You
curse me out, and I'm like, "It's not going to happen that way." Well, check this
you
out. Check this out. They
mm-hmm.
still in a box truck today.
Yeah, I got cussed out all last year.
They're still in a box truck today.
I
You
got
see what
cussed
I'm
out
saying?
all last year. Yep.
So if I'm telling you that I've done it, oh well, no, no, I'm not taking shots at you. I'm not
But
saying nothing is wrong with being in a truck, but I don't see myself long
but
term in there. I'm like, you're going to be in there long term.
but see, the difference with last year was there was a million other content creators, and now that the smoke is cleared, you see who has the experience and who don't. But me and you and a cesspool of a bunch of other people who don't have the experience, who don't have the knowledge, that's telling people $1 million in a box truck. Then you got Bandman Kevo, $1 million in a box truck, and they're just, you know, selling them all this false information in the height of a pandemic when volume is high and rates are high, and you have people
Hmm.
who are just uneducated on business and they think that this is just the way it is, and then we come out like negative Nancy. You know what I'm saying? Even though what we're telling them is not negative, it's not even pessimistic. We're just telling them the truth and we're giving them the information so that they can be prepared for what's to come. We're telling them how to enter the space, this, that, and the third. We're telling them, no, that's not logical. It's probably going to be your 3 month plan to exit the truck is probably going to be more like 18 months, maybe 24 months,
Right.
but when people are in the euphoric phase of a bubble, like I always talk about, man, they not trying to hear none
They're
of
not
that.
trying to hear that.
Now that the smoke is settled and all
Right.
these people have failed and you got more content, I got more content, and then people looking as they seeing them get knocked off like somebody sniping them from the
Right.
bushes, knocking their head off, and then
Uh-huh.
people start, well, man, that Mark guy and that Kirk guy, they talking about different stuff. These dudes is talking about stuff that these guys
Mm-hmm.
not even talking about. Man,
Mm-hmm.
let me tune in. Just this Mark dude, he said it wasn't gonna be no peak season like in August. Wonder how
Mm-hmm.
he knew that. Man,
Right.
Kirk, Kirk talking about, the partials, and
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like that's the only way I can really make money right now. You know what I'm saying? Let me tune in because wasn't nobody talking about the partials last year.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
now people see, and this ain't it's just experience gonna always be your best teacher. That's just it's just
Right.
what it is, you know what I'm saying? So, man, we just gonna say some prayers, man, for everybody that's out in the box truck. Shout out to those guys that transition. Shout out to the subscribers from Kirk's
Mm-hmm.
channel and my channel that I've gotten out of the box truck that's taking company jobs. But we can transition right over to company driver versus OTR driver, company driver versus owner operator. We can
Mm-hmm.
speak from a CDL perspective. Speak from a
Mm-hmm.
CDL perspective. As far as, and I put a poll up. I put a poll up in the chat.
Yeah,
Uh, I
I
put a
see the
poll up in
poll.
the chat. I want to see what the poll is at right now. So 103 votes so far. So 103 people voted. You got 58% says company driver, 42% says owner operator. So
Mm-hmm.
53% thinks there's more money right now. Currently, you would make
Mm-hmm.
more right now as a company driver versus 42% thinking they would make more money, or more people are making more money as an owner operator. I'll let you give your thoughts. I'm going to give my thoughts based on real life scenarios of people that I know
Mm-hmm.
and what I see out here. And this could be, nah, it ain't market. It's nationwide. But I'll let you give your thoughts first, and then if we got differences of opinions, I guess we can debate it out.
No, I mean the company drivers now are definitely making money because we already see what happened with guys who come on there. Like we talk about the height just now of people failing. You know what I mean? I was having a
Mm-hmm.
conversation with a lady. I talk about her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me that the amount of MC that is getting put out of service for their various different reasons, um,
Oh,
the
OTR
common
Ray in here.
the common raise here.
Yeah, shout out to OTRA. We was just talking about you. We saw
We
your
just
video
talking
yesterday.
about yeah, we just
Yeah,
talking about OTRA. But she
yeah.
was saying that the biggest reason why people are putting out their MC number is affordability.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? They cannot afford to maintain the MC number because the truck are too expensive. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? As far as being an owner operator, like we talk about, is very expensive. But now, being a company driver, if you're gonna buy a box truck and start your business, I would say go to become a company driver first. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Get the drift of it, of what's going on, get the hang of it, and then you can transition over to a business owner. One of the best thing that you can ever do also, Mark,
Mm-hmm.
is get your experience on someone else's expense. You ever hear that term?
Always.
Get your experience on someone else's expense. So if I can go apply for a job and become a box truck driver and
Mm-hmm.
then upgrade to my CDL and then get into a semi, I'm gonna put a timeline. Say I'm gonna do 2 years. You best bet I'm gonna get that experience on their expense.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? That means when I'm transitioning over, it's easier. And while I'm doing all of that, Mark, I'm gonna look my own customer, which is my employer
Mm-hmm.
customer. It's just that I'm gonna try to make some connection while I'm running. You see what I'm saying? Hey man, I'm thinking about coming. You know what I mean? You know how we
Yeah.
play it off so we can
Right.
get that. So by the time I transition over, I know 2, 3 guys that promise me that if I get a semi, they can give me some work. You understand? So I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people sometimes are not thinking, and I think social media have just put a just blow fog into a lot of people's brain and eyes and a lot of stuff they don't think about.
Yeah.
You know what I
Company
mean?
drivers. Company drivers definitely. And I'm just speaking from people that I know, like really, really
Hmm.
close friends. My best friend, he
Hmm.
does intermodal for JB Hunt, and he makes more money than everybody I know here. That's an owner operator. The owner
Right.
operators were once doing good, and company drivers were once complaining, but now it's the reverse. Company drivers are winning, and the
Mhm.
owner operators are complaining. And this is for mega carriers, because I know people who work here for regional, smaller mom and pop companies. And when I say smaller mom and pop companies, like one company I have in mind that I know some people work for, small regional is not like five. I'm talking about like they have 100 trucks, like 101 trucks.
Right.
So 101 trucks, right? And they were once booming just a few years ago, even prior to the pandemic, but now it's just not enough work to go around, to
Right.
where those drivers are not working a full week, and because they're trying to spread out the work to make sure everyone at least gets 3 days in. You
Mhm.
see what I'm saying? But my homies that work for mega carriers, JB Hunt, they coming in on a off day.
Right.
They coming in on a off day. You see what I'm saying? So, uh, and it's some conversations that I've had. The one good thing about being a content creator, right? And being a content creator, because, and I say this all the time, everybody in logistics, from the executives to the owners, they watch content.
Right.
And we talk. They reach out to me. They
Mhm.
reach out to me to talk. They reach out to me for consultations. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of insight I get, like I got some insight from talking to the people at JB Hunt, and they was talking about the containers, how many more containers they have on order. They get their
Right.
containers built in China.
Mhm.
The landscape of trucking is changing in front of our eyes, and people are just too naive to realize it.
Right.
The landscape of trucking, right, is changing, and people just haven't aren't seeing it.
Mhm.
The owner operator, if things continue to go the way they are, right, inflation, cost of living constantly going up, it's going to get harder and harder and harder for an owner operator to be able to survive, right?
Mhm.
Because maintenance is going to go up. Why is maintenance going up? Because the cost of labor is going up, right? Cost of labor is going up because there's not enough apprentice going to school to become a diesel mechanic,
Right.
right? And just, the cost of labor is going up anyway. Parts are going up.
Yeah, everything is going up.
Fuel, everything is going up. But you know what? Not going up? Rates. The
Mm.
rates are the same from when I got into space over a decade ago. You just talked about runs you were taking for $750 years ago. Getting those same final mile routes for 600, 700, $750
Mhm.
years ago, over 10 years ago, and those same routes still pay the same thing today.
Still pay the same.
And same to pay the same thing today. Everything else has gone up, but those routes still pay the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then, how can an owner operator who has to front the cost, right, for their business, how can they be able to sustain, right, when everything is constantly going up around them, but the one thing that they make money from, as far as the rates on the spot market, haven't really changed that much.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So the only people who can survive in markets like this are mega carriers.
And I want to
You know.
say another thing. I want to say another thing when I started also and this was years ago. I find that a lot of people back then, and you know what I'm talking about, but back then it was easy to find and it was easy to make connection, and the person who you're getting the connection from
Mm-hmm.
follow through with that connection. Now it's easy to Like you'll go somewhere and somebody say, "Oh, you got a semi? Yeah, give me a number." You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And you give him a number, and then 10 more semi comes, and then he asks those 10 guys for their semi. But you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And when he needs a semi, he'll just call all 10 of y'all, and whosoever give the best rate he goes with. But back then it wasn't like that. Back then it was like, all right, Mark, you deliver my stuff, I listen to all you talk. There's no loyalty. Just like you said, there's a dog eat, there's a cutthroat. You get what I'm saying? It's different. It's a different marketplace, it's a different business era. What people don't understand is profit is the number one gain in any business right now. People put even their personal business over profit. You get what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
profit is big right now. So if I gotta call 10 guys to get the cheapest guy to move a truckload of freight for me, I am gonna call the 10 guys. And if this guy said 800, this guy said 650, this guy said two, they'll keep their finger crossed and pray to God they deliver it in one piece.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that's back then when we give a number, you best believe that guy gonna call us.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing somebody asked about drivers back then. You know this. When you hire a driver and you tell him you're gonna start Monday, he gonna be there Monday.
Back in the day,
Today,
yeah,
yeah, today,
you can't sleep hoping he
man,
gonna show up Monday.
you get these guys come up with more lies and excuse
Mhm. But
than even
but that
coming to work to even do the first day.
but that goes back to what I always talk about. Back
Right.
then, Kirk, there was less
Uh-huh.
opportunity. It's just too much
Right.
opportunity to make money. Wasn't no gig economy. Wasn't none of this stuff where a person could just
But
go
stick
on
a
their
pin right
phone.
there. But stick a pin right there. You said there's more opportunity, but them same people who is not, there's still people who is not taking advantage of the opportunity that
Well,
you're talking about. So
well,
explain that to me.
that's just one thing, and then another thing is we're in a different time where people just are lazier now. So you got a whole new generation that that generation of people that we were hiring back then is not the generation of people we would be hiring now. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So the generation that we would be hiring now, if you hadn't divested and I hadn't divested, we would be looking for mid 20s, early
Mm-hmm.
30s type. You get your older people, right? But now the older people that I was hiring back then, they had to come work for me, especially if they had a felony, because they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't go do no easy gig economy work back then because it didn't exist. They couldn't just drive,
Right.
do ride
Right.
share all day. They couldn't do Instacart or even do logistics app stuff like Go
Mm-hmm.
Share and things they can do in their car. None of this stuff existed. So if there was a 35 or 40-year-old guy or whatever that was in physical shape, he didn't have
Mm-hmm.
no choice but to come move for Mark
Right.
because he didn't have no other opportunities. Wasn't nobody hiring no felons, right? Now it's a different ballgame. They don't have to come drive for you, Kirk, across the country and be away from their
Mhm.
old lady. They don't have to
Right.
come climb 3 flights of stairs for Mark. They might attempt to do it because Mark paying more,
Mm-hmm.
but now Mark can't be Mark. Mark gotta kiss their ass, and Mark don't kiss nobody ass that I'm paying.
Right.
I gotta
Right.
kiss their ass to make sure. So back then, the business owner had the leverage.
Right.
The employee didn't want to do anything to piss off the owner because, like Rob told you,
Mm-hmm.
he said, "Man, you piss Mark off. Mark gonna give you a week to think about it. I ain't gonna say nothing. You just ain't gonna be on the schedule. See, I'm gonna hit you in your pockets.
Right.
You can't play that type of game nowadays. The employee has the leverage now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta let things go.
Right.
Person late, I can't say nothing. Why? Because I don't want to get on the employee bad side because I need him to come to work. Not only do I need to come to work, I don't want to get on his bad side because I don't want him to walk off the job.
Right.
Why? Because he can literally walk off the job, go in his phone, cut on the app, and get to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much competition out there for employees, even fed employees. I always crack the joke about my Uber Eats.
Mm-hmm.
My Uber Eats is always, now I'm starting to see it different now. Now I'm starting to see a bunch of I don't even know if they migrants, just immigrants. You was on the phone with me the other
You
morning
mean
when I
zero
ordered
nine? You mean
when
0911?
yeah, when I my DoorDash, you hear me arguing with the guy. I'm telling him the code to give me the food for my Uber Eats, and he don't even know what the numbers are. I'm telling him the numbers. He hand me the phone for me to punch it in. You see what I'm saying? So, but prior to the pandemic and going into the pandemic, I order food and it'll say Keisha, pretty Keisha, light skinned red bone Keisha, and Man to come with my food. Keisha wasn't even in the car. Man pull up, back seat laid back, future bumping. Man, the car, as soon as he opened up the car door, I see the smoke come out. My food got to, my fries smell like contact. You dig what I'm saying? Man done deliver my food because Keisha, Man done got out of jail. Keisha told Man, look, babe, you got to go do something. I'm gonna sign up for Uber Eats with a bicycle. This the thing.
Who is Batman?
Man is Boo Bay. It's Keisha's Boo Bay. But Man done got out. So this the lick. Because when you order Uber Eats, it'll say you getting the food delivered on a bicycle. But they never pull up on a bicycle. Right?
Right.
They sign up as a bicycle carrier because they ain't got no license. But they still driving, right? So
Right, right.
Keisha pop up. And I say, man, Keisha ain't riding no bike. Man pull up. I'm gonna tell you what Man pull up in. Man pull up in a '06 Dodge Charger. He either pulling up in a '06 Dodge Charger,
Uh-huh.
right? Or he pulling up in like an Impala or something, maybe like a
Or a Buick.
2010 Impala or a Buick Lucerne or something like that. Man pulling up, seat laid back. He pull up bumping
Oh
NBA
man.
Young Boy, right? Smoke coming all out the car. Mark,
Yeah.
yeah, man, yeah.
What's the
Ah,
code?
all right, but nah, back then it wasn't no code. Now you got more immigrants delivering food now, and they don't know no English.
Mark
Now
get
Uber
upset
Eats
at the
got this.
guy.
You heard me get said like, bro, give me my food. Man, I'm
Listen,
like, what,
guys, I
bro?
wasn't
I'm
there,
telling
but I
zero
can tell you
now.
the guy hold on to the food and give Mark
He
the
would not
phone.
give me my food. I'm telling this fool the code, but he don't speak no English. I'm like, how is Uber letting these people on there? He hand me the phone. You cut, you cut. So I
Zero
had to,
nine one one.
right, I put the code in and shit, man. So,
Oh man.
but the point is all these opportunities exist now. So,
Uh-huh.
as an employer, you no longer have the leverage. You can't lean on employees like that. McDonald's, I heard McDonald's ain't firing nobody. I heard you
Right.
can do a no call, no show, and show up to work the next day like nothing never happened, and they ain't going to trip.
Uh-huh.
That's how serious it is now.
Oh man.
So to that person who asked the question that wanted to know that asked it 50 times earlier about how do you keep employees, when you figure it out, you let me know. You see what I'm saying? But nowadays,
Please
but
do. The person do.
the only thing I can tell you is, and this is something I learned as over the years, you gotta pay people handsomely. And
Yeah.
as the cost of living continues to go up, like Gavin Newsom out in California last week, he just passed a law that all fast food workers out there got to make $20 an hour. So now McDonald's workers is making $20 an hour. They was already making 20 here. They've been making 20 here since the pandemic. You see what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
I
And that's
think
not
one of
enough
the
money to
things,
get people.
yeah, and I think one of the thing with my employees back then when we used to do OTR, we used to meet up a lot. We used to meet up a lot. We used to meet up in
Mhm.
Miami. There would be trucks down in Miami. We would just go, you know, ski biking and have a good time in the weekend. So is that personal connection that I would have with my employees, but when it
Mhm.
comes on to making money, it was easy to get them. They would spend night at hotels. You get what I'm saying? All that stuff. So how you treat a driver and how you interact with the driver is going to determine. And then they were getting paid. You get what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Because we were running. I mean, Parcels was running on those truck back then was we were getting a killing, man. Like we make a lot of money off of those truck.
Mhm.
See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So Yeah, you gotta interact with the employee,
Yeah.
but it is what it is, man. What we gonna
Mm,
do? You know what I mean?
yeah. No, you can't do. You
Can't
gotta
do
be
nothing.
smart. You gotta be smart. And as things shift in business and just period, as a good business owner, you gotta know when to transition yourself.
Hmm.
Um a lot of people just don't understand business. And I said this earlier, and I hate to, it's just so many facets of business that I think the longer you're in business, you're gonna learn.
Hmm.
A big part of business that I think people need to learn is when to take the money and run. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? When to
Right.
take the money and run, when to pivot, when to transition. You know what I'm saying? I think nowadays people that are getting into trucking, I don't think they need to make this a long term plan. I think they
Hmm.
need to make it a plan where they put their head down, they work really hard, like a 10-year plan, right? And as they're making money, right, they need to take that money and allocate it into other investments that are going to ultimately remove them from the truck or the business altogether. And then they can do things where their money is going to be working for them instead of them working for money, right? In order
Hmm.
to get to that point in life, you first got to work for money, right? You
Right.
first got to work for money. And if you're in your 20s and you're watching, if you're in your 40s or your 50s or maybe late 30s, then sorry, it's too late for you, but you can still listen. For the people who are in their 20s, you really need to listen to this. Now is the time. Like things are changing in the world. Back in the day, you could piss off your 20s and you got your 30s to figure shit out. Not no more. You need
Not
to
no
really
more.
figure things out in your 20s, right? If you really work hard in your 20s, right, and the earlier part of your 30s, and you do what you're supposed to do, you put your head down, you work really, really hard, you appropriate your funds correctly, you allocate the money that you have coming in into things that are ultimately going to make you money without you having to be directly involved in it, so that you get to the point where your money is working for you instead of you working for money, then you can retire by the time you're 35, no later than 40.
Hmm. Right.
And that's just the name of the game, but so many people,
Big
you
Herm
know,
say you take your money and invest in real estate, but right now I think real estate is a bad investment because somebody I heard said on YouTube this. I think I was listening it either today or yesterday. They said if you buy a house now, or if you buy a house prior to the pandemic, you're in better shape than buying a house now, which is true.
yeah, so I'm stuck in my real estate. What I'm gonna do? What I'm
Right.
gonna
So
do? Let's take the
if you invest in real estate now, I think investing in the real estate market is bad right now. I would not invest in real estate because the Fed
unless
just
you
raised the rate up to into
it's
8%.
8%. It's okay. Hold on. It's okay if you got cash. If you got cash, I think you're okay because if things continue to, I would, if I had, listen, if I was buying a piece of property, if I was to go out and buy a piece of property right now, that piece of property, I would, I would not buy something if I didn't have enough cash to pay it off in about 5 years. So I take the 8%, and if I
Mhm.
can't refinance that in 5 years, then I'm just gonna pay it off. But I wouldn't buy something that I knew I wouldn't be able to pay off in 5 years if the rates don't retrace. Right? If the rates retrace, which a lot of people are banking on, right, then they'll just refinance at a lower rate. We'll never see 2 and 3% again. So for me to get out of the stuff that I'm in right now, I would be a fool.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question then. So you said that you would buy cash, right?
If I was
In
looking
real
to buy something right now, I would have to. Now, I wouldn't buy cash straight out the gate. I would go for the 8%. But if the
uh-huh.
market doesn't retrace in five
Correct
years,
yourself.
right, where
Uh-huh.
I could refinance, then I would just cash it out,
Hmm.
right?
But
So,
but so I, let me say this. Let me double back on what I said. I would buy
mhm,
property now, like where I live. There's a lot of new community subdivision being put up. They're building a lot of houses around here.
mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So I would buy a new house that's building now in a community that's building up, because
Mm,
you're gonna have equity in the house by the time the community complete, right?
mm, mm.
Because location is key,
Right.
right?
Mm,
So, but when you say you won't buy
mhm.
unless you have the cash, I guess it depends on where you buy. Correct me if
When,
I'm wrong.
when when I say cash, I would make sure that I buy something that I know I could afford to cash out if the market doesn't retrace in 5 years. So meaning if I see something for 300,000, let's just say, right, and I take that on an 8%, and I'm banking on the market to retrace in 5 years. So if it goes down to, let's say, 5%, refinance with 5%. But if the market doesn't retrace in 5 years, I know, boom, I got 300,000 that if it doesn't retrace, I'm not going to be paying this for 15 years or 30 years at 8%. Skip it. I'm just
Mhm.
going to go ahead, drop whatever the balance is on that, and go ahead and just cash out and get up out of it. That would be my game plan going in if I were to purchase property right now. I don't think we're ever going to see 2-3% no more. That's done with. I think if it does retrace, I think the lowest we may get down to is 6%, maybe 5. But the
5,
point,
right?
right, because people won't
Even
stop
in
spending.
FHA.
Right. I mean, things go up over time. So, look
Mhm.
at gas. Once gas kept going up, it never been like I remember when gas was 89 cents a gallon.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
remember back in the day when diesel used to be cheaper than regular unleaded. Diesel used to be cheaper than gas back in the day.
Let me ask you a
You see what I'm saying?
question, Mark.
So,
Stick a pin
yeah.
right there. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think the real estate, why do you think, and I know you probably get this, but I'm getting a flutter of letter and email,
Mm-hmm.
not just from people that's trying to refinance my house, but my own bank. Why do you think
Mm.
they're trying to keep me out of the house? Not
Why
keep me out, but why you think
they trying to buy the house from you?
yeah, like they're offering me, you get what I'm
Cause
saying? Or they'll tell me,
because the inventory is low, Kirk.
right.
Inventory is low.
And they're telling me
Inventory is
that
low.
I can refinance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I got 3%. So they want me to refinance, or they're
Mm-hmm.
telling me that they can, purchase a house. But my thing is why I just say kick out, but why you think that? Is because they can make
Inventory is
more
low.
money?
It's the same reason why the dealerships are sending me letters for my vehicles. Because
Hmm.
inventory is low. They can buy
The same thing with
vehicle.
your house.
Right. Yeah. I'm not. Why would I listen? I bought this place in 2014.
Hmm. Yeah, they're not getting my place though, but
You think I'm gonna why would I do that? So I'm gonna have to go spend something else, right? I'm gonna pay more for the condo, right?
hmm
And I'm gonna be stuck at 8%. So now I'm gonna go spend what, a half a million, 5, 6, 700,000 on a condo, right? And then I'm gonna be paying 8% on top of that,
right,
right? Because I'm not gonna die. I'm not moving to the hood. I worked my way to get out the hood.
right,
So now what would probably be 300,000 or 400,000 or 350, I'm gonna end up paying 5 for it because the properties are still going for more than what they're really worth, and I'm gonna be paying 8% on top of that. So why
right.
would I do that? Why would I do that when I'm already 10 years in here?
Well,
If that
the price of this house has doubled
mine
since we
too,
own it.
mine too.
So I'm thinking that maybe that's why they want to kick us out, because we look at the house and the house value way more
The
than when we
the only
purchased it.
way you gonna win, the only way I would win if I sold this house at double, I would literally have to sell this house, take the money, and move back in with my OG. That's the only
Hmm.
way I'm gonna win because if I go buy something else, it's like I didn't make anything. If I go
Right.
rent,
Yeah. Yeah.
hoping that the market gonna turn around like a lot of people was doing last year, because we were moving these people. We were moving people out of houses. I'm asking them like, why are you? We were moving people out of their houses last year back into their parents' house. Well, we're hoping that we're taking the money, right? So they're like, man, we made money. We made 100,000 here on the property. We
Hmm.
bought this place 2 years ago. We made 100,000. We're gonna take the money. We're gonna live with our parents for about a year, and the market's supposed to turn. The market ain't
Right.
turned yet. The rates just went up, right? So now if you go rent somewhere, you renting betting that the market gonna change. So I'm slowly diluting the money that I made.
Yeah.
I'm draining it.
The plumber that came here, he told me and my wife that him and his wife sold their house in the pandemic, make a ton of
Mm-hmm.
money, and
Mhm.
then bought a house and lose.
Yeah. So why would I? But see, that goes back to being a smart business person. You got
Right.
if it don't make dollars though, and that's the thing. A lot of people are sitting still, right? That's why there's
Mhm.
it's the inventory is low. This is why they're trying to buy stuff back. The only people I think that should be moving right now is if you get hired for a job and you got to relocate, then you got to do what you got to do. Man, my trainer, he asked me for advice. He's like, man, we just had a kid. We in this 2 bedroom condo, apartment building. They own the building, but they live on the second floor. They got a tenant below them. They live on the second floor, and it's a 2 bedroom. So they got a room, and the baby got a room. But he told my his wife want another baby within the next year. But he's like, what do you think I should do? Because like, why would we not gonna sell this place? We just gonna rent our unit out, but I'm gonna buy another place at 8% with another baby.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know. So now you got people whose families are growing, right? And they
Mhm.
want to buy another piece of property, not because they trying to stunt, because they just need more space, right? Because their family is growing. And this is a hard decision that they're having to face too. Because people thought that the Fed was gonna push the rates down, but they just bumped it up to 8%. Why do they
Mhm.
keep bumping it up? People are broke, but people keep spending money. People keep spending money on stupid shit. So the more people spend money on dumb shit, they can't slow down the economy, right? The inflation is just gonna go up. The purpose of them raising the rates is to slow down the economy. But people
Mhm.
keep spending. They keep
Right.
spending. So as long as people keep spending, the rate's gonna continue to go up.
Yeah.
So, like I said last week, I don't care. You see what I'm saying? It's just opportunity for me.
Yeah.
It's just opportunity for me.
Yeah.
Whenever there's,
They're trying to get
huh?
even they're trying to get, they're trying to they send us letter. So they're interested in buying properties now,
Mm.
buying or refinance. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, they need to buy property because the inventory is low. Ain't no, it's not a lot of inventory on the market. People are sitting still. So
Yeah.
trust me. If I could, I listen. I'm a businessman. Everything is for sale.
Right.
Everything is for sale. I could double up on a property. I'm gone. But if it don't make sense, then I gotta sit my ass still. You know what I'm
Sit.
saying? So it is what it is. Real estate ain't even something I'm looking into right now. That's not even something I'm looking into right now because it's just not a good investment that's going to turn me over. I'm looking at shit that's going to 30, 40x. Like I already got some shit that man, I've been winning every day. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I got stuff that's already doubled. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So I'm sticking and moving, you know,
mm.
uh,
Yeah.
right now,
It is
so
what it is, man.
yeah.
Yeah. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but man, yeah, so as far as the company drivers versus the owner ops, who's making more money if you were coming into this trucking space as a rig driver, semi driver, we both agree that coming in as a company driver versus an owner operator would probably be more financially beneficial for someone, right? We both can agree on that, so we don't have
Yep.
to debate that, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I guess that you want to take some questions, or you want to just go ahead and
I mean, we can take a few questions. I gotta get up like 3:30 tomorrow. You know what I mean? I see I
my
see
Ibrahim.
okay, no, this
Ibrahim says, "Please, guys, listen to Mark. Everything he's saying is right. I'm a licensed real estate realtor. Good gems. Yeah, just gotta know the market. You gotta know whatever you invest in. It's like I always say, know what you're investing in. Don't invest into things that you don't understand, even if it's not
oh,
necessarily for
Abraham
your
said
business.
because they're selling it for more. Yeah, I know they're gonna sell it for more.
Yeah.
And that's the point that I was trying to say is that we're building up in the community. Like we have a whole community that's already it's almost completed, but they're gonna get ready to start a next section. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And they're just building up a lot of property around us.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time they complete all this property, this house might worth maybe it might gain another 100,000 on top of what is already
Yeah,
gained.
but they're gonna sell it to an inexperienced buyer.
Yeah,
So
you
you know
yeah.
they're gonna sell it
So,
to an
that's where
inexperienced buyer.
I
So,
comes in, where I buy low,
but here's the here. But see,
sell it
here's
to
the here. But see, here's the dynamic in this situation where that kind of doesn't apply because you bought it right. You
uh-huh.
you were able to increase your money in a short period of time, but where you gonna move to now? Now you're gonna take a
I
L
gotta
because
move
you're gonna
back to
pay.
my mama.
That's the only way you're gonna win, and that's what I'm saying. That's the only way you're gonna win. But even with that, you don't know, like, cause
Yeah.
right now, after going through a whole year, a little over a year of this, and just seeing the economy, just being out in the world, going out to nice restaurants and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
This past weekend, all these people buying these goofy ass Halloween costumes to go. I don't celebrate Halloween. It's the devil's day. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Christian. I can't celebrate nothing with people dressing up as the devil and
Right.
devilish things. So I don't celebrate it. Not knocking nobody that do, but I don't celebrate it. But the
Yeah.
point that I'm trying to make is people uh all weekend, was dressing
Mm-hmm.
up, going to these Halloween parties, spending money on services. This is where the money is going. It's not going in the goods. People are spending money to have a good time. They spending money on lavish dinners. They're spending money on parties, costume
Mm-hmm.
parties. You don't got people really traveling as much because that's a ticket. That's a
Mm-hmm.
ticket. You dig what I'm saying? That's a ticket. But they doing these little dinner, couple $100 dinner, parties, things like that. They're spending it on services. They're not really spending it on goods, which is ultimately what driving down the freight, right? And the trucking, but the money is being spent. So the economy is not slowing down, which is forcing Jerome Powell to continue to raise the rates.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
But another thing also, we did stuff to the house, like we do the basement and all of that stuff. We don't get the house reappraisers yet. Now I know when you get it reappraised, it's gonna also increase the price, right?
mhm.
Because I know
But
all
when you
of
say
that.
when you reappraise it,
Yeah, because the way we bought this house is not the way it look.
so you updated it. You did some
Yeah,
stuff to it,
yeah, we
right?
put the island in, and
Oh
we
yeah,
got
yeah. So yeah,
countertop,
yeah.
and a whole bunch. We changed out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So you should pull a little bit more money out of it. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not gonna sell it though.
I
We're
you
not
know,
gonna
I
sell it.
I wouldn't, but
And I get
that's
it at
on you.
3%. I get it at 3%. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
you would be crazy. But if you want to
Yeah.
sell it, let me know. Before you go to the bank, let me know.
No, I ain't gonna sell it. I ain't gonna sell it.
Cuz if you want
To
to
be
do
honest
something
with
like
you,
that,
to be honest with
do it
you,
sell it to somebody you know cuz then I might have to sell it back to you. I'll sell it back to you for a few points on the dollar. I ain't going to hit you like them. I'll sell it back to you for a few points on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? So at least it's in safe hands
oh,
with me, and you could get it back for cheaper than you would be able to get it back for somebody else.
you know how much this property can rent for? Even the rent around here gone up.
How many bedrooms is it?
This right here is 3 bedroom,
Well, how many bathrooms?
2.5.
Finished basement?
It's
You got a
yeah,
basement?
yeah, finish,
Finished
yeah,
or
yeah,
unfinished?
finish.
It's a
I finished
ranch
the
or a
basement.
bi-level?
It's
What's that
the
on your back
basement.
screen? Take that. Is that a commercial on your back screen? Because we're gonna get copyrighted.
Hold on, yeah, it's let me see let me see. But yeah, the basement is finished.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah,
you
I did
bought
the
it. You
basement
bought
last
it.
year.
You bought it prior to the pandemic, right?
Yeah, I built it in 2018.
Oh yeah, you're gonna make money. Yeah, you probably damn near double, maybe.
I just gotta get a I gotta find, a mama crib to go to.
That's the only way you're gonna come out ahead. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
my OG already said I can't come back. I said, let me make this quick, half a ticket real quick.
yeah,
Let me get my old room back. Nope.
yeah.
That interest, I'm gonna be kicking myself. I would be kicking myself, because I damn sure I'm gonna give up something for low interest rate. I got this in 2014 to pay 8% somewhere else. Man, no way, Jose.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
straight.
crazy.
But this is ultimately why the inventory is down and why the banks are trying to buy property because they need shit to sell to make money from suckers. So it is what it
So
is.
if I buy, I'm a sucker, or if I sell, I'm a sucker. Which one? Or both?
Both, both,
Okay, right,
both. The only way you gonna win in your scenario is if you move back in with your parent.
right.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so I guess we could take a few questions then. We got
yeah.
106 people, 94 likes. Let's see if we can get them likes to 100. And then we'll take a few questions and then I know I seen a few questions. I seen DG. Wait, did I see who did I see in here earlier? I seen somebody in here earlier.
DG.
Yeah, I think I did see I thought yeah, DG got hustle. Shout out to DG got hustle. Shout out to all the content creators that's in the building. Shout out to the content creators that's in the building who just watching that ain't in the chat. I
Who
see
is
y'all
DG?
too. DG got hustle. He a content creator. He do cargo van stuff.
Oh, DG got hustle.
Yeah. Shout out to Axel. I see Cargo Chris in the building. That's another content creator. Cargo van.
What's the
Shout
guy
out to
name?
you.
DG got hustle.
DG got hustle. DG
Like
got hustle.
somebody rip him off, or he just hustle
Got
and work
hustle.
on.
He got hustle. He got
Oh, he
hustle. He
got
got hustle.
hustle. I'm
Got
trying to
hustle.
figure out the name, man. You guys with these words, man.
What words? You don't know what hustle mean?
You gotta talk patois, man. You gotta.
We not Jamaican. We not Jamaican.
DG got a hustle. Okay. All right. We got any question?
I'm looking. OTR Ray said, you know what? Let me see if OTR Ray can come up real quick. We'll just part like that. OTR Ray, if you
Oh,
in here,
yeah, DG. Oh,
DG got hustle.
The letter DG got hustle.
D is in David, G is in God. Hey, Kirk,
Got
man,
got
goddamn.
hustle.
Like,
Yeah, you
man,
tweaking, man.
you definitely tweaking. I got it. Where my butt? I ain't hit the tweaking button in a minute. Man, I gotta hit it because I'm like, damn, DG got hustle.
I mean,
You
I
making
think
it
you say
hard.
got
You
hustle
tweaking.
like somebody rip him off, like brokers rip him off. That's what you got to hustle like
DG got not he got
hustle.
hustled, not
Right.
hustled. Got hustle. He got hustle
Yeah,
about
he got
himself.
hustle. He can work. Right. He's not lazy.
Yeah.
You Americans, man. I keep
Man,
telling
what
you,
you
man. You
talking about,
bitching,
man?
man.
You tweaking. Man, where my button at, man?
You tweaking.
Yeah.
You
Man, what's
know,
wrong with you,
like
dog?
the Zubchuck, you can tell Zubchuck he knows all the American slangs, man. You know what I mean?
So do you
Oh man.
guys think the box truck business is dead? Nope. I think it's exactly what I said it was earlier. It's just a bunch of people that are misinformed, consuming the wrong information, and aren't
Mhm.
entering in the correct way. I think I think at this point, box trucking is something that you have to graduate to. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Some people can think different, but everybody that's been thinking different since I started a YouTube channel last year has one either had to come back to me and admit to me that I was right, or two just disappeared because ultimately they failed and they didn't want to come
Mhm.
face the music and get in this circle, right? So I could hold them accountable for their actions.
Right.
Hey man, so
Eh,
it goes back to experience. Me and Kirk ain't finna tell you nothing. We've been doing this combined damn near 30 years combined.
right.
I started in 2010, Kirk started in 2011.
Right.
Like as far as content creators, we'd have been here the longest. We got your best content creators that y'all think is the best. We got them by quadruple amount of years as far as experience, more than quadruple. I don't know what the 5 is, sextagon times, sextagon, whatever it is. We got them by like 5 or 6 times years the experience.
Right.
Whatever it is, whatever the math is, it's more than
Right.
double because double would be 4, triple would be 6, quadruple would be 8. What's 5? Sextagon? Or is that 6? Whatever it is. But we got them by that many years experience.
Oh
You figure
man.
these most of these guys came in 2021. I started in 2010. So Kirk started in 2011. So if we tell you something, it's based off our knowledge and our experience. And this is why we're undefeated.
Yeah.
And this ain't me,
You know, my
it's just
first box
it's just
truck
it's
cost
just
me
just what it
five
is.
grand. It cost
My
me
first
5 grand.
my first box truck was 7,900.
My first box truck was $5,000, and that's the deposit, insurance, MC, the whole shebang.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how low it was to get in a box truck, Mark.
Man, it was cheap to get in a box truck. A box truck. Listen, when I first
Oh man.
said, you know what, I'm finna stop renting box trucks. Let me go see how much a box truck costs. And I started doing the research, and I looked at the prices. I said, man, I've been had the money. I could have been went and bought this damn thing.
Right,
This is
right,
why I was able to buy a truck every other month because they were so goddamn cheap. Man, my
right,
first
right.
new box truck was $33,000. No cap. The note was $666 a month. My
Oh
fourth truck
man.
I bought was a brand new one.
Man.
Man, please, the game is. I'm saying the game because it's slang. The business, it's
It's
different.
not the same.
It's it's
Yeah.
it's it's not it's not the same, and that's why I'm saying you got to be an early adopter into anything.
Mm.
When people was bragging on the box truck business during the pandemic, a smart business person, I had one consultation that I will never forget. It was an older white guy, right? I don't know because I just know the name until I actually get on the Zoom call. Older white guy, bald, gray hair. He's sitting in an office. He's sitting in the office and the walls were glass. He was sitting in a glass office. So I see people walking through the hallway. I see the person in the office adjacent from him. He had a corner office. I could see, I don't know what city it was in, but I could see the buildings. He was sitting in a corner office. And he said, Mark, I'm a lender, right? But I got these guys that keep coming to us for this box truck business stuff, right? I write a lot of loans, right? I want to know what's the big deal about this box truck business because for the life of me, I'm a business person. The math is just not, he didn't say the math wasn't mathing. He was an older white guy. So he said the math is just not adding up to me. I watched a lot of content on YouTube. And he said, out of all the content I watched, as far as box trucking, you're the only person who makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he watched you, Kirk. Don't take offense to it. He
He's a
says,
white guy, Mark.
he's a white guy. So we just started talking. He
Right,
was like,
right.
that's what I figured. And that's a lot of stuff you saying. Like, why? He said, the first question I want to ask you is why did you divest? And I told him why. The same reason I talk about it on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
He said, that's what I figured. Because I got someone who I know who wants to get into this business and he wants me to finance him 10 trucks. But it's just not making sense to me. It's not making sense to me. And I got another guy who's been doing this for a while who we keep giving money to, but he's robbing Peter to pay Paul to give us the money back.
Right. Don't make no sense.
In other words, this was a company that was looking, he was the owner of the company, come to find out. I think he was asking me questions because I think he ultimately wanted to stop lending money
Money to
to,
them.
yep. So he
Yeah,
wanted to see,
because you buy a truck. Think about it. He's losing because if you buy a truck, Mark, if you lend a guy to buy 10 truck, right? Let's say you lend him 500,000 in the height of the pandemic, right? Those truck that you lend him, if you gotta repossess back those truck, you say you watch a video where the guy was waiting on the reaper guy to come and pick up his last truck.
yeah.
Now, when those company take those truck back, they gotta sell it. You see what I'm saying? So now they give you a note for 70 grand. The truck worth 35. Who gonna pay the rest?
Yeah, so they take the truck, they sell it at auction, then whatever the
Yeah,
difference is, they stick you with that.
they stick you with that, but you ain't got it.
Yeah, so yeah,
So ultimately, they're gonna lose because you don't give a crap. You're
yeah,
gonna say, let that crap stay on my credit.
Yeah, he wanted to
And
know
then Imma
before.
go back to drive a
Mhm,
truck for a company, and I'll deal
mhm.
with it later on. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
mind of a lot of these guys.
So to answer your question, I think we gave you the long-winded answer. I, I think the I don't think the business is dead. It'll never be dead. But
Not
I
dead.
think this is a industry now as far as this particular space, as far as box trucks, especially OTR, specifically OTR. I think this is something that needs to be graduated to. And I
Mhm.
think if people are smart and they've been paying attention to the market, you're gonna have some scenarios where a person may be able to get in and see success right away because they may know someone that's walking them through it. They may have enough working capital that they can withstand whatever the
Mhm.
scenario is. You're gonna have instances where you're gonna have people that get it, but for the most part, most people, I think this is something that they need to graduate into. And when I say that, I think they need to enter into the space with something that's a little bit more manageable and something that's a little bit more sustainable, right? Because you have to learn the industry. And if you're coming in right in a box truck running OTR into something that's very, very competitive, right? And your initial cost is going to be high, especially in
Mhm.
today's time. And then you're competing for loads with people who've been doing this for years and years and years, where their cost is going to be very, very low. And like you got people telling you now, Kirk, you the reason that the rates are going down because people that are taking partials are taking those partial loads at a cheaper
Alright, yeah.
rate, right? Which there you gotta keep it funky, Kurt. There is some honesty to that, but that just goes back to the dog eat dog mentality. Kurt and whoever else is going to do whatever they have to do so that they can put food on their table. If you came in and you can't compete, then you're going to lose. And a lot of people don't know that part of the business because a lot of these influencers ain't telling them that. They just tell them don't take cheap rates. But how you not going to take if you got a guy who got a 2010 or 2011 or 2012 and his truck is paid for and his insurance ain't as high as yours and the guy's 40 or 50 years old and he ain't got no points on his MVR, so he's running
Mm.
a lot cheaper than you. Is it his fault? And he knows how to partial, so he's taking those loads for cheaper, which is ultimately it is affecting you. It's definitely affecting you, Kirk. You got to keep it funky. You,
No, but partial in
but
itself, it pays less than
but
the
right,
average rate of a
right,
load.
but it's still competitive. Is what I'm trying to
It
say.
is, yeah,
You
because if
competing.
you're because a broker is not gonna give you $2 a mile, Mark. A broker is not gonna
I,
buy 3 pallet space in your truck and give you 2.50 a mile.
I get that, but
When
a
he can
lot of
put
these
when he can put those 3 pallets on the back of a semi that got
I
space for 3 and pay him
I
a
I
partial rate,
I
is
get
less.
that part, Kurt, but you got a lot of people saying, "Man, don't run your truck for less than this. Don't run your truck for less than that." So you got people who are coming in that are misinformed, who's
Mhm.
only on the low board looking for shit, paying $3, $4 a mile, and you're never gonna get it,
Okay,
right?
Mark,
Because
but if it's
because
starting but common sense, Mark, stick a pin right
but
there.
common sense ain't common, Kurt.
Okay, but guys who think like that don't pay attention. If the spot market rate is $2.20 per mile, and that's on a full truckload,
Mhm.
that's a 53 footer with 45,000 pounds. You damn near got a 26-foot box
Kurt,
truck. You can fit 12 pallet
I
with less than 10,000
I
pounds.
I
How
sent
you
you a
expect
video.
to get? I know,
I
but I'm
sent you a video
explaining
from
it.
a content creator last week that was
I
complaining,
get it.
saying y'all
But
was
I saw
ruining.
people in the comment section last week also saying I'm the reason why why partial why rates are I mean cheap.
It's
If the
competitive
spot
though.
market, listen, we gotta talk about a spot market. If the spot market is paying 2020 cents on a semi, full truckload, this guy get 26 pallet, 45,000 pounds. You damn near gonna get 12 pallet, less than 10,000 pounds. Who gonna give you $2.50 a mile? It's not gonna happen.
You gonna
You
explain that to
better
the
off.
content creators that's out here saying that
No, but
y'all the reasons doing it?
no, I don't say nothing to those people who listen to those content creators because those people who listen to them are the same set of people in the comment section say you're dropping gems. You see what I'm saying? I don't be saying anything to these guys. I just leave them, let them crash and burn. Because like the girl said last time, Kirk wants you to crash and burn so that he can get more freight. You're damn right.
Who said that?
Natasha.
Oh, she sure did say that.
You get what I'm saying? I don't want you to
Uh,
crash and burn, but I know with the thinking that you have, you're ultimately gonna crash and burn. And when you crash and burn, my semi gonna scrape the load up that you complain about. Mark, what happened today? You talked to me the whole day. What was I doing today? I was
Ronnie was
dropping,
kind of
picking up
upset.
load.
He was kind of upset because you got 4 pallets that got refused.
I got 4 pallets that got refused, but what I was doing when you said, "Oh man, I thought you done," I'm like, Mark, I'm running around doing what?
Dropping loads.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And these are local loads. So if I'm getting $2,500 for 2 days and I'm getting above the spot market rate or the spot market rate, these loads that I'm picking up, they can't fit in a box truck. I pick up
Yeah.
14 pallets from LG this evening. Just from LG. So stop complaining. You got to go and look at the spot market.
But see, they thinking that they not supposed to take anything less than. Well, the video I sent you, the guy was saying, "Man, stop listening to these guys that's saying don't take what do you say? Don't take nothing less than $2 or $3 or
Don't
something."
take
I don't
less
know.
than $2.50. But that's another bull crap that they put out here.
I think another reason a lot of these guys
Let me
don't
ask
know
you
they
a
call.
question. Okay, let me
Yeah,
ask you a question. Maybe we're misinformed. Is it not taking less than $2.50 one way? Because these guys who are talking about this, they're doing Amazon. They're
right.
in trucks
So,
doing Amazon. So if
so
Amazon is if you're gonna take a $600 load, listen, I can pull up my load board right now and show you a load that's paying $6.
mm-hmm,
$6. But guess what? It's one way. So
mm-hmm,
if I get that $6 up to New Hampshire, if I don't find anything come back to Pennsylvania, guess what?
mm-hmm,
I now have to dig into that $6, and now it's going to become a $3 and $2 and $1.50. I just become a sucker for brokers. I help them out. I do them a favor. You have
mm-hmm.
to understand the stock market, the market, that the rates that determine the rate that goes on the full truckload, which is the spot market. Stop listening to these guys talking about box truck and $52.50 a mile. It's craziness. Just like Axel was talking about the cargo van, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he would say that it would get 60 cents, 70 cents, 80 cents a mile. But then he would talk about guys who come in and promote that you can get $2, $3 a mile. He get mad, right?
Yeah.
It's craziness.
But ultimately, it's competitive. That's what I'm saying. So going back because I don't want
I
to
don't know.
digress. You know what I'm saying? Because Kirk, you gonna bust a blood vessel. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, it's competitive. So if you do come into the space, you
No,
gotta
because they watch
understand.
our content,
Well,
and they misinform the people that watch their content.
well. Here's the thing. Well, that you got people that watch our content and then try to duplicate it, but when they try to repeat it and recite it, it doesn't sound right. They misspeak, and you can't listen. The type of knowledge that we have, right? You can't just rip it off and think you're going to be able to go back and present it without sounding crazy. Why? Because we have the knowledge because we've done it and 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 we've done it so many times. It's just we can speak. When we speak, you don't see a bunch of uhs and our lips quivering and we looking all over and we trying to think and
Look,
figure
look,
it
look,
out.
look.
People ask a question, we just give them an answer, but that comes from years of experience. So, when you on a platform like this, Kurt, with people gonna bounce around, and that's something I know you don't like. I don't really give a damn. You know what I'm saying? People gonna bounce around. They're gonna consume this. They're gonna consume that. They're gonna consume this. They're gonna consume that, and they're gonna get confused.
No,
They're
because
gonna get
here's
confused.
another thing. Here's another thing. And it goes back to what I always talk about, and this lead to the conversation, not to veer off, but I gotta go in a few minutes. But
Mhm.
you got people that watch me, you, and then watch other content creator, right?
Mm.
And then whenever
Yeah.
me, you say something about other content creator, they get upset.
like yesterday.
And then we exactly, and then I talk about bouncing from channel to channel, and you all over the place. You see what I'm saying? That's why you get upset, because you over another content creator. But then you're gonna be like, yeah, but you and Mark was the first one we saw. Then why you over there?
Hey
Yeah,
man,
you the
listen
only
here,
one
man.
that talk good, you know. You see what I'm saying? And it's crazy.
That be pissing you off, Kirk.
But no, but
I
I'm
don't let it
but
get
here's
to
the
me
thing,
like
but
that.
they'll
I
be
don't care.
arguing with us though, because you get into an argument yesterday
Because I
about a
think
statement you make. You know what
yeah, and
causes that? Because they veer over there. Oh, you
yeah,
could have dealt with the situation a little bit better. If you
that's
were
what
keeping
that
it behind here, the situation would have mattered to you because you were loyal to Kirk and Mark. But you just have to go look what another sucker saying. It's crazy.
yeah, man.
Hey
It's
man, they're
all
your
good,
people,
man.
man. They're your people.
Hey man, after that yesterday, man, I just throw my hands up in the air, man. I listen, man. I just throw my hands up in the air like common sense ain't so common no more, man. That's probably the best quote or term or whatever I've heard this year. I just heard that this year. Somebody say, Mark, common sense ain't so common no more.
It ain't so common,
I'm
man.
like, damn, is that a new term? Is that a new phrase?
Yeah,
I
it
ain't
is
never
a
heard
new
that. But
term.
I like
Common
it
sense
because
ain't no common.
it ain't common. So
It
if
ain't
people want to
common.
if people want to, you know, if
Just like you got guys here, they ask you all the time how to get direct freight, and you tell them, okay, what do you need direct freight? Well, I'm trying to get a dedicated load. Okay, cool. You go down to the shop down there. The lady got a flower shop, right?
mm-hmm,
She said I can use the box truck 3 times a week, right?
mm-hmm,
You said to her, how many deliveries? She said, well, I got about 20 stops. Some of them you got to go to apartment, businesses. Okay, cool. They get all the info. How much to negotiate? They ask you this, right?
mm-hmm,
They're watching out a content creator who's telling you get dedicated for it, get, but nobody never sit down and said, okay, cool. So what you gonna do now to negotiate to come up with a reasonable price, right? You're gonna have to now put certain things into factor.
mm-hmm,
How many days a week? Which is 3 days. Which of the 3 days? You get what I'm saying? She said Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's say she said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Is it
mm-hmm,
the morning delivery or afternoon delivery? You get what I'm saying? Do we need a signature or we can do a front door? You understand what I'm saying? Like there's
mm-hmm.
a lot of factoring going to coming up with a factual with a price that's gonna make everybody happy. But these guys just sit on the internet and just blow smoke out and everybody like, yeah, cuz you dropping gems. Good job. Crazy this. You get what I'm saying? And so when
Hey
guy
man.
would come to me and they're like, look, I got a flower shop. I spoke to Buddy over here. He couldn't explain it to me. But what do you think, man? I got a flower shop lady that she want me to deliver some bouquet 3 days a week, and it's in the morning. It should take me from 8 to about 12 o'clock. All right, man. I think you should slap her 350 a day.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying, Mark?
Yeah,
Why? Because I've done
but
those stuff.
and you know what? I've been thinking all weekend about what I wanted to talk about this Thursday. I'm not going to say it now because I don't. Man, we get bit so much, man. I don't want to drop it before Thursday, even though I could because I'm gonna present it the best. But I'll wait till Thursday, man. I'll wait till Thursday, man.
Man,
I
I'm
think
telling
I
you.
think a lot of people just need to. We might need to go back to the basics, man. We might
No,
need to
a
go
lot of
back to the
people, and a
basics.
lot of people, and I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people who watches these YouTube channel, you need to
Yeah.
stop letting people drop brief conversation on you.
What you
If
mean,
somebody ain't gonna explain something to you, like people would ask question in their comment section, and they'll just give brief answers.
man? Say who you talking about, bro. Everybody know who you
I'm
talking
just saying
about.
people who
It's
just.
on.
I'm talking about the subscribers. I'm not talking about the content creator. We know the
Oh.
content creator don't know that much, but I'm saying people who ask question, you gotta stop accept these brief answers. You
I
see
don't
what I'm
think they
saying?
and see that's the thing. Like me and Axel was talking, we talked too. Like I think when the whole common sense ain't common. Like I watched something the other day and the shit didn't make no sense. And people in the comments like gems. They was putting the gem emojis up, and I'm like, that means y'all don't know. That means y'all
They
just
don't
running
know.
y'all trucks to think y'all know. Y'all just sit up there and listen to this, and this shit is all wrong, and y'all dropping
That's
gems.
all
That
good.
let me know that y'all don't even know. Because you sidelining and agreeing with some shit that is completely wrong. 100% wrong. And at that point, I just said to hell with this shit. Like the people that listen, to me,
smart people would know, man.
it ain't got nothing to do. Like, I hear you, but I think the reason why we got the knowledge that we have in this space, and a lot of stuff we talk about. Well, I know I do on this channel. We talk a little bit about real estate. We talked about a little about real estate earlier. You got a conversation that was going on a minute ago, still from the conversation we was talking about earlier. We talk about other investments and stuff like that. The reason we talk about trucking, this is all from years of experience. This is from actually doing the work for years, not a year, not 2 years, not 3 years, from doing it for a multitude of years, over a decade. Yep. I'm 13 years, 14 summers. You see what I'm saying? So this is from a lot. I've done everything from moving and delivering in my pickup truck all the way up to getting and running my own warehouse. I became the 3PL. I didn't have to send my trucks to these companies anymore. Semi trucks was coming delivering to me, and we was delivering to the customers from my warehouse. So when it comes to these other content creators in the space, other than you, who's messing with me?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when people notice, and they go and then they the shit that we know, we can pinpoint something being wrong where they can't. So I don't really hold them all at fault. Some things I think is just common sense, right? But I don't hold people at fault for what they don't know. Who I hold at fault is the people who put out this shit as educators in the space, knowing good and goddamn well, right? They don't have the experience to be educating nobody. You can't coach nobody, right? I hold the viewer a little bit at fault because these people haven't lied about their journey. If you go invest in somebody that's only been doing this a couple years, then that's on you.
Right.
You've been consuming misinformation. But you so naive that a person is telling you about, only been doing this 2-3 years, that the whole journey is there, and you listen. So I give them a little bit, a small percentage of the fault. Listen, Kirk, I'm not finna go create a channel about diesel mechanics, and I ain't never been a diesel mechanic. Or right. I'm not gonna go create no channel about real estate. Do I know about real estate? Yes. Do I deem myself a person who can talk about real estate and build a whole channel on real estate? No. Why? Because I'm not. Real estate and me and trucking is too different. I'm not deeply involved in real estate how I am in trucking. Would I go out and talk about stocks and crypto? I could, but I'm not going to do that either because I'm not a financial advisor.
Right.
And I don't want people to place investments based around things that I'm telling them, but they don't know how to maneuver around the market that I do. Because people just buy the stuff that Mark say buy, but they may not be able to keep their money in there long enough to see an investment. Or they may not pay attention to the market throughout the day the way I pay attention.
Right.
Or they may not divest because they may be greedy because now it turns into another box truck situation where, let's say a meme coin. I'm going to use a meme coin. Shiba Inu or Dogecoin is running and TikTok influencers got behind it because they're trying to push it up so they can make money. Bro, I bought that shit years ago. But I'm pushing up billion coins of that shit. I've been selling that shit the whole way up. I'm out already. I made my money. You a sucker. I'm selling it to you at a high. You buying it trying to hope they lose 3-4 zeros. I had the shit when it had those 3-4 zeros. Right. And every time it loses 0, I sell 100 million coins.
Right.
Now, while you waiting to get to a penny, I might keep 100,000, 100 million. But I've been selling all the way up. And you can't get 1,000,000,000 coins. You know why? Because every time it loses zero, it costs more and more money to buy in. You wasn't an early adopter.
Right.
I'm just
It is.
using that because that's something that people know about. You see what I'm saying? So,
Right. Right.
and this is why, because I know better. When the frenzy and shit comes around, I'm already out because the real money already been made. The real money already been made. Have fun. Have fun. I already made my money. A lot of it too. Now, when that shit when you go to bed at night, because it's a 24-hour cycle, when you go to bed at night and them whales start to pull and you wake up in the morning and you got the rug pulled from under you, then I don't want them coming back to me. Man, Mark, why? Man, I got out 3 weeks ago. You was still in that.
Right.
That's why I don't do it. I can create a channel on trucking because I got plenty years of experience in it. So I'm confident in everything that I tell people. I can tell people 4 or 5 months before December, you're not going to see a peak season.
Mm-hmm.
And when everybody doubted me, guess what? Who had the last laugh? That one soul lonely guy that was saying the opposite of what everybody else was saying had the last laugh. I stood alone. I took all the criticism. I took the ridicule. I took lies where people want to debate me and throw shots at me. And now I can't even get nobody to put up 10 grand to come debate me. Won't nobody take the $10,000 back, Kirk?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Oh man. Nobody
So
gonna take.
nobody want to take the bet. I tried to get Vic to take it on the live the other night. He said no. So I don't.
No.
Nobody want to take the
It
bet.
is what it is, man. It is what it is.
So
Yeah, I mean,
it is. Oh
it is what it
man.
is, man.
So he
Yeah,
said somebody
man.
said you could do iPhone reviews. Man, I'm not doing that. Hey man, I don't. Hey man, I do this shit to help people out, man, and have a
Yeah.
little fun, man. Talk shit with Kirk, have a little fun, help people out. I get pleasure and enjoyment out of people being successful, helping people out. And I'm too invested into it now, man. Me and Kirk went out and spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on shit. So
Yeah,
it's like
I need to put up a what's the name?
we
A
still got shit. We
GoFundMe.
ain't even. No, you don't.
I I
You
gotta
can't
put up
do that, Kirk. You can never ask for money because then you're gonna get thrown into that. Man, Kirk around here begging
you
for
mean
money.
of course. So
Nah,
you mean I
Kirk.
can't beg
No,
money?
no, no,
No,
man.
man.
It's for the
Matter of
culture, dog. It's for the culture. Kirk, you can't roll around with me if you begging for money, bro. If you
man, I'm
need
gonna beg
something,
them people
Kirk,
right now.
listen,
We got
check it out.
100
Check it
people
out.
that
Check it out, Kirk. If you need something, just
uh-huh.
come to me behind the scenes. It'll be between me and you. Don't ever come to the internet with it, man. Just hit me up. Come to me behind the scenes, man. Let me know what you need. It's gonna stay between me
Don't
and
come to
you,
the
and then
internet with
I'll just hit you. Don't come to the internet because I'm not gonna be able to defend you. They're gonna be like, man, Mark, what's up with Kurt, man? Kurt right here
oh
putting his cash app up, asking for cash apps. And then now how am I gonna like how do I have to approach that now? Like you up here, we doing a podcast and you over there on your channel begging and stuff. Just come to me behind the scenes, Kurt, man. Let me know.
all right.
Man, what's wrong with you, dog? Man, you tweaking around this bad boy.
Hey
What's
Mark,
up?
can I get $1,000, man?
I said come to me behind the scenes, man. The perk. Let me end this live, Kurt, because man, y'all immigrants, man.
Oh
Y'all
man.
something. Y'all,
You think these
y'all ain't.
people will ever give me? You think these people will ever give me and you anybody? They will never give
I
us
would
a
never
dollar,
ask her. I
bro.
don't need no money from them.
They will never give us a dollar. I swear to
This
God,
is
if I
this is this
genuinely
is
need money, they'll be like, "Man, you a sucker. Get out." They would run me off the internet, bro. I swear to God. you know, you know what I
Nah,
mean? They're not gonna give me a dollar. They'll be
I'm
like,
just
"No,
reading.
you're the
I'm
other
reading.
guy."
I'm reading the comments. I'm reading some of the comments, man. Let me get out of
Oh
here before we
man.
start trouble. I've been good all night, man. I've been good all night, man. I ain't bothering nobody. I ain't did nothing. We gave great information. We appreciate everybody, man. The #1 box trucking podcast. Man, we might be the only box trucking podcast. So, well, either way, that still makes us #1. So, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Kirk got a low early in the morning, so we're gonna end this show early tonight. Hopefully, everybody had a good
Early
time.
tonight. Peace out. You know
We'll
what I
see
mean?
y'all next Monday. All right, peace out, y'all. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.